Hello, hello.
Hello, how is everyone?
Welcome. It's time to
Welcome.
get sexy. It's Thursday. Right, Cam?
Indeed. Yeah, totally. I was just like here taking off like a sock and then another sock.
I know I didn't put my socks on today. I'm going to be freezing in about an hour.
Oh, is it getting like cold in Florida?
Yeah, it's
Does it ever get?
95. Whew. It's freezing.
I don't know what that means.
Um, it's like, it's hot. It's very warm. It's like, think about your hottest day in Scotland. It's probably hotter than that.
Um, well, I don't, that would be 30, maybe 25 degrees if I'm generous.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, it's very warm. It's very humid here still. But in the house, since we have tile floor, if we have the AC on, then it's freezing no
Oh
matter
yeah.
what. So I usually wear
Yeah.
socks all day. But alas,
Yeah,
I
here we are.
stripped. I stripped as well.
Yeah, so it's been a week. I feel like it's been so long because I was gone from Bucharest for like a few days again with more dental issues.
Mm,
It turns out they never end for me. So, um,
apparently, that's a lot.
yeah. Um, so what's new? What's up with you?
Literally, not much. You know, just living life, laughing, loving, living, all the L's, and I'm excited to go down memory lane a little bit today. Throwback
Oh,
Thursday.
yes, Throwback Thursday. Today we're gonna, Kayla has volunteered her first ever short film.
I'm excited because okay, so before when we usually meet before the show goes live, so we can check everything and chat briefly before, so we don't just go blind because that's when all the errors happen on the live stream. But we were talking about the topics, and the whole thing that I'm going to talk about today is like this guy on TikTok who has like multi millions of fans, but then made a short film project, like a much more professional one than I've ever made, but he didn't get the response that he was hoping for. And I watched the short film, or tried to, and I just was like, "Oh, this is a little hard to watch." And then I was like, I wonder how hard my short film is to watch from 2010 when I was in college. And I was like, I wonder where that is now. And then I did a search, and Cam's like, "Oh, I want to see it." And then I searched for it, and I actually found it, so we can watch it. It's short-ish, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's under 4 minutes, so I think we could all stifle the the attention span, hopefully. But I think it's just something that happens. You're cringe when you're first making art or content. You just
Oh yeah,
have to
yeah.
be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a requirement to
Yeah.
to be cringe in order to make anything.
I told Cam, I was like, yeah, I wanted to make a short film. It was a 48-hour short film festival, so you have to shoot it and edit it and whatever in 2 hours, 48 hours, 2 days. And I was like, yeah, my piece was gonna explain injustice. Okay, that's interesting.
I'm curious to see though. I'm so
Yeah.
curious.
So maybe we should start
Well,
with that one then. Start with
yeah.
the TikToker. Okay, so I'll set the whole thing up. So if you guys are TikTokers, which I 100% definitely am a TikToker for fun, like a free time. I don't make TikToks too much. Like sometimes I'll post something or whatever, but I'm definitely a consumer. And if you are too, you probably have seen this guy, possibly. I don't know him by name. If you were to say brodywellmaker, I would be like, who? I have no clue. But looking at his stuff, he's been all over my For You page for a while now. And so, Kim, you've never really, you don't recognize him, right? Too much?
No, it's
Okay.
not for me.
He's not For You page. He's pretty funny. Like, a lot of his skits
Liver King wants to
are
play a game
like
to
this.
see how compatible we can be. On the count of three, say your favorite snack.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Venison.
Venison!
Oh my god.
Oh my god,
Little
same
skits.
here!
Say something else.
No, I said
It sounded like
venison.
you were gonna say.
Okay. Or I don't know. Let's just
Stop doing cardio. It's killing you. Do you want arms like this? Then stop lifting weights. Stop eating vegetables. They're killing you. You don't really need protein to grow. Primals, eat my testicles. Stop doing cardio.
Okay, so I mean that's about I think a good representation of his style. Now his big claim to fame is that he does these duet videos where I'm trying to find a good one of that, but like there'll be somebody's like torso or someone's like hands, and he'll put his face there and like match the movements. And that sort of like is what has caused him to be like really popular.
Okay.
And I don't even know if I see any of these, but I mean, he's got a lot of views. Like even on the lower viewed ones, it's like 1.4. I mean, this one has 400,000, 6.5 million. I mean, he's very much a highly viewed creator. And he's got, like I said, 21 million followers on TikTok, and he's got 3 million over on Instagram. So, but it's funny. His stuff is usually funny, okay? But if you see up here, he says, you know, his whatever, viralnationtalent.com. And then it says, my short film, ADXM, is on Patreon. Okay. So apparently, I don't know when he released this or when the short film was supposed to come out, but somewhere in between, he announced that he has finished this short film. You can go on Patreon. It's either $5 to watch it or $15. There's 2 tiers, as Patreon does. And so we can click on it. So I I bought it so I could watch it to understand what we were dealing with here. And like I said, it was difficult for me to get through. Because it is so unlike his content that he makes. Like, it's not light. It's very deep. It's very emotional, and it covers a lot of like deep topics, at least from when I was watching. And it's short, but it's like they're trying to cover a lot, and it's not my thing. So anyways, so that's what it is. Now, the reason people are talking about this, and the reason that we're going to talk about it today, is that because of his response to people not buying the ticket, the online ticket, to watch this short film. Now, some people are like, so he put it behind a paywall, behind Patreon, right? Some people are like, you should just put it out on YouTube. You should just put it out there and let people watch it and donate, as opposed to forcing people to buy it if you want a lot of people to see it. And so then he starts kind of making these sort of dramatic TikToks. And here's one of them. Now, he denies that this has anything to do with the short film stuff. He's like, I put my short film behind Patreon. I could care less if anyone watches it. But it's sort of suspicious that this is sort of his tone now, after he didn't get maybe the response that he was hoping for. So here's that.
Hi. This is going to be the last video that I post for a while. Taking a break. So I thought I would share some wisdom to anybody that wants to be a creator. I've got 3 pieces of advice. 1, these platforms don't care about you, so be prepared to understand that. They don't care about you. The content that you create, the content that you consume, it's just there to make them money, and that's all they care about. 2, be careful who you work with. Just be careful who you work with. People will tell you that they believe in you. People will tell you that they want to see you succeed.
I mean, he's not lying, but
They just want from you. They just want to take from you. So be careful who you work with, and choose your friends wisely.
Okay.
And lastly, take care of your mental health, okay?
no.
I would argue that your mental health needs more care than your physical health. There's no way in hell that we are designed to swipe our finger and laugh at a video, and then swipe our finger and watch someone's journey of dying from terminal cancer and spending their last few moments on earth, and then cry with them, and then swipe our finger and then feel all fuzzy inside because of a cat video that we see, and then swipe our finger and then laugh at something, and then swipe our finger and then cry. There's no way anybody in this entire world could convince me that this is like something that's normal and something that like is not going to affect us. So take care of yourself. Take care of your mental health. Talk to somebody. Go touch some grass. Read a book. Yeah. I'll be back though. And I'm okay. But I just thought I would share that. And I wish you all very well. And I'll be back soon.
Okay.
Oh my god! Wow, he's so dramatic.
This mood more matches the film, for sure. This is more on brand, but until the film came out, from what I can tell, it was all like goofy, and people in the comments are saying like there's like Twilight spoofs and stuff. Yeah, that has been the content that I've been made aware of. So like for this very solemn, serious, speech to be made, I was like, awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's very projecting, like, you guys should take care of you.
Yeah.
This app is not made for us humans. It's like, why don't you just get in front of the camera and say, I need to take care of me, and I'm kind of overwhelmed or whatever. Like, it's like you guys need to take care of yourselves.
Yeah.
Is bad for you, and like brands and stuff want to take advantage of you. It's like nobody wants to take advantage of me. If any brands want
I'm
to take
strong.
advantage of me, my email address is on my channel.
Yeah. I have my literal viral media email in my bio. Please email me for business inquiries. Yeah. To me, I just feel super uncomfortable. It's like as if he's trying to like air dirty laundry without giving any receipts or any names or giving any details. So it's like it lacks any sort of substance for me to understand what's going on. And obviously, like, does he not know? Like you have 21 million followers. You're obviously making a career of this, which is perfect, wonderful. It's like the dream of any, creator, but like, you don't know that no one really cares about you. It's the same thing. It's like no one knows you. Like it's not a real relationship. And I guess that's maybe where he's like disconnecting. I don't know.
But also, I think there's plenty of people who care about him, probably, because out of 20 million people, like, sure, it's not 20 million people who follow because they absolutely adore and think about him all the time. But there will be
A few. Yeah.
yeah, there'll be some people who really followed him, for years or whatever, and they've seen his evolution and they got excited for him, and they probably are on Patreon and support him. And there will be people who care about him. Like that's insane to say nobody cares. But I think what he means is he's hurt.
Yes, he's hurt for sure. And it doesn't show, this is his Patreon. I'm a paying patron, so, for now, just to see, I wanted to watch the film. I don't know. He has 788 likes on it. So I would imagine there's at least that many people who like it or have watched it, and then there's 417 comments. Now it doesn't, cause some people's Patreon show how many, like mine shows how many patrons I have. Like publicly, it looks like he's taken that off, which is an option. So I can't say for sure. But I mean, $5 times, like, let's round up to 800. I mean, he's making some money. He's making
And it's
4,000.
lots of times that people don't like anything on Patreon. I
Yeah,
have
true.
had, I think, Catherine, if I'm not mistaken, who normally is here on the live, and she has said that, because I asked for feedback at one point on Patreon, and she said like she tries to watch when she can, but she mostly just
Supports
wants
you.
to support me, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it's not really for the extra content. So there'll be people just probably in that same boat, supporting rather than to watch or like or anything.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think it is something that, like, because there's this one guy I watch on TikTok who does short films in TikTok, like, a minute, and they're very well. It's like almost like a slice of life scene. Like it's like a couple talking. He plays both characters, and it's all about the film feel. So if that guy made a short film, I'd be like, oh, okay, this guy is invested in short films. Like he, has a very unique point of view. I would invest in that. This guy is a comedy content creator who's made like really viral content, is now pivoting into a short film world. It's hard to take an audience that's there for like the laughs and the spoofs and the funniness, and then now invest in them and like be like, okay, now buy my thing. It's not as easy as I think people think it might be. Like if he was making a comedy video, that's one thing behind a Patreon. But this is a total change. So it's almost like he went where the views were and maybe didn't stay true to who he is as a person. But
I think it's fair enough because, like, whenever you pivot, and I think we both have seen it, like, whenever we post something that's like off the left field a little bit of what we normally post, it will not get the views. It will not, like, it's
off-brand.
highly unlikely that it will ever get views, that it will ever get popular, because it's just the people that are watching are not interested in that type of content, so they will not click on it as much.
Yeah.
So
which is
that's
fair.
just fair enough. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it works. It's just and I know
agree.
this very much because I make a variety of content, and especially like on TikTok, which I don't consider myself to be a content creator on TikTok, but I post sometimes. But sometimes I do stitches. Sometimes I do like, I did like a stitch on, or not a stitch, like a video on Dave Hollis when the whole, thing was happening. And I did like a video on Zelensky at one point.
I remember
And I
that
also
one.
do like things that are romantic or in nature. And I sometimes talk about myself. Whenever I talk about myself, like nobody cares, because like I think I've been like pushed into that algorithm.
Sure.
So that's just like what happens. But it just kind of seems like, and like, how does he not know it? At 21 million followers at this point, you'd think that he knows.
And he's
like
older. He seems
slightly
like he
how
would,
it works.
Yeah, it's not like he's 16 and he just like blew up overnight and he's a kid and doesn't get it. Like, I think at this point, I'm assuming he's like our age, like in his 30s, I would imagine. You sort of kind of understand and comprehend, like, this is all a job, this is all a business. And so I want to play, there's two more videos I want to play that he made after the one we just watched. And the last one to me is like the cringiest thing probably I've ever seen, and also out of touch in my opinion. And I want to get your thoughts, but we have to watch the in-between one.
Okay, but before that, because I want to say something that I feel like I'm gonna forget if I don't say it right now. It's a very Dave Hollis and Heidi crying in the car because the book didn't sell moment. It's just maybe not, he's not crying, but he's making it so dramatic and so cringe. But that's exactly what it sent me with my
Totally. I mean, Pancake Gate, which again is Dave Hollis having a meltdown over Instagram Live because his book was not going to be a New York Times bestseller after he already had a New York Times bestseller, and somehow that's supposed to make us all feel bad. And he was literally telling people,
unfollow me
if you don't like my book, or if you don't buy it, And I think it comes down to what's in the title of this video, this live stream, is like creator entitlement. Are we entitled? Like Dave Hollis specifically was like, this is a social contract that you've made with me. And he said those words like verbatim. By following my content for free on Instagram, you are socially contractually obligated to purchase my book for $18 stinking dollars.
18 stinking dollars.
When I come out with it. And that's so unfair and untrue. And it's a wake-up call that I look forward to experiencing of creators, like watching that moment where they go, oh shit, like I don't just get everything I want. I sort of like revel in that, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's very it's definitely the right word, entitled. It's very entitled, it's like expecting that something, it's normal when something flops. Like it's actually a hell of a lot more normal for something to flop than for something to do
Yeah.
well. Like the videos that do well are few and far between, and the flops are like, well, maybe in my case it might not be everyone's experience, but
Hmm.
just in general, you will have like a few things that just take off, and then the rest will just do average, like
Hmm.
whatever. And it's that's why it's so strange to like expect the success, because it's more a lot more rare than, it
Hmm.
doesn't happen as much as the flops. Like,
But
you
then
should
you're not
expect the flop.
manifesting. You're not manifesting
Oh,
correctly if
okay,
you don't
that's
believe
true.
everyone is going to be a hit.
Yeah, I mean, I never manifest at all.
I woman fest, bitch.
um I think that's a lot better.
Yeah. Woman festing is just getting, a disappointment after disappointment. Manifesting
Yeah.
is following your dreams, of course. Okay, no, I think that was a great point and very true, and it's a very common theme. I think especially when a creator or anybody has had success once, then you demand it every time, and it's usually they think they attribute it to themselves of like, I'm a natural born leader, I'm a natural born artist, I'm a naturally born funny person. But in reality, there's many, many factors. It's the algorithm that day. It could be the way the world is. And then, you put out a project 6 months later and things are completely different and you are the same and you're so confused as to why it didn't work. It's like, it's not really you. It could have been 25 things that like came together and rocketed you to success. And now you're spending your life trying to recreate that. It may never happen again.
Yeah.
So anyways, okay. So just to recap, he's like, I'm taking a break. Take care of yourself, everybody. Like, I love you. Basically, he didn't say that, but like, that's the vibe. Like, I care about your mental health. So here we go. Here's the follow-up.
Hi. I wanted to spend more than 24 hours off this platform, but it turns out
So less than 24 hours, he's back. Thank you, Small Steps Daily. We appreciate your
Thank
super
you.
sticker.
I really appreciate it.
For that, we'll sing this. We'll sing the Pancake Gate song.
Why do you follow me if you
You
don't
don't
already
already
own my
own
book?
my book.
Thank you, Small Steps Daily. That is the creator entitlement anthem right there. If there ever was one.
That's true. That's such a good. I love it. I love it. That was good.
Okay, so less than 24 hours later, our boy Brody
This
is back.
it's very the meal prep king.
The meal prep king is like pretended nothing fucking happened.
Scruffy cons.
He's like, you scruffy cons, I'm back. Here's my meal prep for the next 10 years. You'll never see me leave again. Okay, here we go.
last video needs a little bit of damage control, which I wasn't expecting. So yeah, the
Just a wee
majority
bit.
of you, vast majority, you're all wishing me well. You're happy to hear that I'm taking a break. You've reached out, you've left comments, you've sent messages, and those mean so much to me. So thank you. Another portion is speculating why I made the video that I made yesterday. And they're saying that it has to do with my short film, that it has to do with the creators involved in that short film. And that's just not true. Okay?
Okay.
I get it. I'm not a creator that opens up this window for you all to know what's going on in my personal life like other influencers. I'm just a comedic content creator. And so when I make
I'm not like other influencers.
I'm not like other people. I'm
I
very
just
different.
vaguely speculate on things
Yeah,
that I maybe or may
absolutely.
not be talking about.
Also without warning though, not being like,
Yeah.
okay, here's some stuff happened, I have something on my chest, I want to say it, here it goes. Or, I don't know, like it feels like if that's what he was doing, he should have given a little bit of a warning.
Yeah.
That
Hi.
well, not warning, just to explain what's up, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Hi. I'm taking a break from making funny content to give you this cringe report on my life. Like, okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, he could have even that would have been something. But what he did is like, you guys, when you scroll, it doesn't do anything, and brands try to take advantage of you.
Yeah, you know,
It's like, okay,
I know it's like of you, yeah, not of you though, of other people. We want to say thank you to Just a Becky before
Hi,
we move
Becky.
on. Just a Becky, she wrote number one. Well, her Shiba dog is writing number one on a piece of paper. For those
I
not in the
love
chat,
reading the stickers.
I know. For this, I think we need to turn on the violin music for this. Can you do your best Brody impression for Just a Becky real quick?
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Where is it? Oh wait, okay, I have it on here. Ready?
Yeah. You guys, brands will not care about you, and nobody will buy your book, and nobody will pay for your short film, even though it's half the price of a cinema ticket. I specifically made it half so that more people would buy, and nobody cares about you.
That was good. That was really good. That was good.
Now your turn, because you're the funny one. Come on.
No, that was good. I don't have anything else. That was perfect.
Come on.
Okay, if you insist. Hi. It's been 23 hours. I couldn't wait any longer.
In 50 seconds.
I've taken this reflection time to think about how to come back on this platform after my long break away. And I have the thing just to say. What I have to say is,
Why do you follow me if you don't
You don't
already own my book?
Brody, Brody, Brody. Okay. Thank you, Just a Becky. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, back to him. So now he's saying it has nothing to, because there, so his movie also sort of not important, but perhaps, and we can watch if we care. This is the actress that is in the short film. He's also one of the stars of the short film, Brody is, but this is another, she's got millions and millions of TikTok followers as well. And so she was one of the stars. If you recognize her, her name is
Yeah.
Chris something? Chris Collins with a K.
I feel like I've seen her in a vampire movie.
Probably. She also does comedy. So again, like switching the genre up, which I think is cool as art. But then if you want it to be like a marketable, successful, profitable thing, for all these actors to go to, or TikTokers, funny TikTokers to go on this dramatic thing, it's like almost like you got to pick passion project or successful, capitalist thing.
And it rarely ever intersects.
No. Rare.
Yeah. You always have to sacrifice the passion. Just like
Sacrifice your
nobody
feelings.
cares about your passion.
True. Accurate. It's like you gotta, they say in editing, or in film or in news, for me, it's like kill your darlings. Like, or in writing, I think too, it's like you can't fall in love with any one thing that you do because you do have an audience to think about, number one, so it's not all about you. And two, you have money to think about. You have, like, in order for this to happen, you have to, be able to produce it within the budget. That's part of whatever your budget is, you have to do it. So, you can have a character that you love and like, oh, but if you can't afford to keep them in, you got to cut them and you got to get over it. And just for the record, he spent, allegedly, this comes from other creators who have been doing videos about this, said that he spent $40,000 on production, which sounds about right from like the list of people he had, like, boom mic and lighting and editing and all that stuff. So he said $40,000. So did he make that back? I don't know. I can't see on Patreon. So just so we all know where he's at with his.
That right there, my friends, is why you don't invest your own money into
invest.
short films. No,
Yeah.
I've made that mistake. I mean, I didn't invest a lot. I was telling Kayla before the live, only paid for breakfast for, for a year. But only for the weekends. But even that, I never got a penny back. So
There you go. Same with me. I think we paid, well, it was a free contest. They gave you the camera for the one that I'll show in a minute. And yeah, it was like our day for 2 days. And we paid for, like, we bought dinner for us and any actors that were in it. So I think total cost was like $100 maybe for us. So, and it shows though, in the production value. But anyways, back to Brody explaining that we're all just misinterpreting what he said.
yeah, it's not idiots.
You misinterpreted the very vague TikTok that I made yesterday. Okay.
I make videos like this, you guys are left just having to speculate. But yeah, you couldn't be further from the truth. I've got a lot going on in my personal life, and respectfully, I don't owe any of you an explanation. So
Damn.
yeah, I want to apologize to any creators that have been targeted to harassment.
What?
Those commenters do not represent me. They do not represent my brand. They do not represent my community. TikTok is
Hold on.
it's a pretty
What
nasty.
the fuck happened?
So
What?
I think because people were speculating, like I said, he made the movie with 2 other TikTokers that are huge. And I think that because he kept it so vague, they assumed that the girl and the guy, or the woman, I need to stop saying girl, the woman and the guy did something to him. And so maybe they were commenting and saying, what did you do to Brody? Like, you know how the internet is. Maybe, I don't know. I didn't get deep enough into the drama to really know, but you know, he doesn't owe us an explanation anyways. So he's back
That's true.
explaining what happened. By the kindness, he's actually donating this explanation to us, not for his own gain.
Yeah, that's good. For free. He could have done an apology behind a £5 paywall.
Yeah. $250
you know.
for the apology tier. Wouldn't that be funny if you had Patreon like supporter, hater tier, apology tier?
I'm gonna do that. I
Show your
promise
hate
I'm
for
gonna do
me
that.
on
That is
Patreon.
amazing.
Show your
This-
disgust for me for
I'd be like,
$5.
slap support for $10.
Yeah, I will personally slap myself in the face for every Patreon supporter. That's a good
can't
business
imagine.
model. Oh God, we just created something. Finally,
Brody, just get the apology tier. I'll be on it. You know,
I'm a fan. What do you call it when
He's
you're not a
so-
fan? I'm a hater.
a hater.
Supporting hater. Supportive hater.
Yeah.
So now he's going to talk about how TikTok is such a toxic place to be, even though I'm sure his entire career rests
That's
on
21 million.
the success of TikTok.
Oh my god. Okay, let's hear it.
Okay.
TikTok is it's a pretty nasty place. The world is a nasty place, and TikTok
world.
has just shed a light on that. So yeah, as I said yesterday, I wish you all well, and I will be back soon. I'm not going to be gone long.
Why?
Thanks for watching, and take care of yourselves.
Okay. Second thing.
This is
Sorry.
go on.
Second small thing. He's obviously a short film maker. He knows cameras and stuff. You're gonna try to make it seem so authentic that both in the beginning and the end, you're now gonna show yourself hitting the record button and hitting the end button, even though every other video he's ever made has been like produced and, you know, correctly done and like high quality, you know, graphics. He knows how to use the countdown feature on TikTok. So he's purposely making it, oh, hey guys, just want to click on real quick. Like, I don't buy it. Sorry.
Next thing he's gonna be like, oh, my team deals with
My team clicked the button, actually.
I don't know how.
There's a team of puppeteers that are moving my finger towards the camera. You guys don't know that because, you know, I don't owe you the
Social
explanation.
media is fake.
No shit, idiot. Sorry.
This is I've always found it really funny when people just like announce their departure like and return all
I'll
the
be
time.
back.
Like there's some people on social media who always says, oh, I need a social media break, this is too hard, blah blah blah. And I'm like, this like what
Just take it. Just
just
take it, girly.
take the break. Why do you need
Or say,
like
hey, I'm
it's not
taking a
like
break. I think they want to be begged to not take a break.
yeah,
No,
probably.
please,
It's
no.
like nobody messaged you for a week. Why are you announcing this departure?
What will I
And then they're like,
do?
I'm back after after like I don't know a week or something. I'm like, okay, I don't care.
I didn't
Like
notice.
now that you're here, so what?
Yeah,
Like
I follow 12,000 people. Like, I'm glad. Take your break. There's nothing wrong with the social media break. It's great. But I agree. The announcement, the dramatics, the like wanting to be begged not to leave. I don't
yeah,
care for it.
yeah. And it's almost like nobody's paying attention to me, so I'm gonna say something
Bye.
really dramatic and leave and just like or like threaten to leave forever and just be like, I'm back actually, like, oh, so everyone would be like, oh my god, we're so glad, like we
Yeah,
missed you. It's like,
it's a
just
validation.
chill.
Yeah. Well, I think again, like when we talked about the other day with mental health and like normalizing it to a point where it's not like, oh my God, like we need to help this person who's, in a mental health situation. Like if it truly is normalized, it's like, okay, everyone calm down. This is like, fairly common. Hope she gets the break, hope she gets the help she needs, but like we can't do anything and panicking is not going to necessarily fix the situation. Same thing with the breaks. Like take a break naturally all the time or when you need it, and don't make it this huge thing like I'm taking a social media mental health break. It makes it seem like it's not normal, like how abnormal this is, or like, oh, how serious this is to take this huge break. It's like, just take a break, we're all good with it, we're all cool with it.
Yeah,
That's
and also,
normalizing to me.
it's not like anyone has to be posting on a daily basis multiple times. Like I don't, there's people who never post. I have friends, or like there's influencers even who don't post like all the time. They post like every once in a while. Z, who is here in the comments, she's one person who never posts. And like I was so excited the other day when she posted 2 posts in a row. I was like, oh my god, this is Christmas. But like it's not like it's a requirement. Like if you want to post
No.
or not, it's up to you. I mean, okay, in his case maybe he's got a management agency, so maybe there's like some rules in terms of posting or whatever. I don't know how that works. I never had any manager or anything, but it
Yeah.
feels like most creators have control over their schedule. Like if they want to post, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is, they kind of are on top of that.
Yeah.
Nobody really, except for when you get a sponsor or something, and then the sponsor says, I need this video to approve by whatever. Except for that, I don't think uh anyone else controls, even management. I don't think they control the schedule.
Yeah, and even so, it's like, okay, yeah, that might be difficult, but how is that different than any other job on the planet where you have requirements and deadlines and things you have to hit in order to get paid? I mean, I think that's pretty, I can disagree with him. Like, I wish we all didn't have to work, but in the world we live in, like, that's pretty normal. And I'm sure I'm not sure, I'm assuming he gets paid fairly well with the amount of followers he has from brand deals. I mean, I'm sure he's not, selling his soul for $10. I would imagine he's getting, thousands, multiple figure deals by this point. Maybe not, but that's what I assume.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I wonder if this is, but the thing, because I wanted to I wanted to give him some credit that maybe it was like, the management was like, maybe you need to say something or whatever. But I feel like had they been like all like, plotting on how to get this out, this would not be the result. Like if there was like 3 or 2 people even talking about this, like how are we gonna break this announcement that you're like leaving for a while or something, this is not it. This is not what they would have come up with.
Yeah. I'd be like, hey guys.
I think this is all him.
I think so too. I don't think any brand is going to be like, yeah, tell everyone that TikTok's a toxic place, but you'll be back soon. Like, what is that about? Especially like if you really mean what you're saying, which I'm sure he does to a point, that, oh, it's this like really toxic place and it's like hard to, I mean, YouTube, I could say the same thing for YouTube. Like, yeah, comments like hurt my feelings sometimes. And like, oh, it's a lot of work to do it. But it's also, once again, it's a free choice to pursue this career or not. I can always get off and go, I'm doing something else. And I'm sure he could too. So to be like, this is a horrible, horrible place. It's disgusting and poisonous. He didn't say that, but you know, the insinuation's there. But I'll be back. It's like, so what does that mean? Like, you're just accepting that it's a horrible place and are just going to continue to live in this horrible state of affairs? Like, that doesn't seem healthy.
Yeah. I feel like he's experiencing, and I will be honest, I am kind of sad that, you know, it's because he's experiencing a sort of a cancellation, but he's not canceled. He's just,
No,
it's just
he's canceling himself.
people. Yeah, exactly. People are just very much like, we didn't like this, whatever. Like, you can accept feedback. It's fine. Like, you know, it's sad that he put that much money into a movie and it didn't resonate with people, so people didn't want to purchase the ticket. But then that's the reality of commercializing your talents. Like, you know, some of them will hit and some will not, and that's that. Like, you can just say, oh, I'm sad that nobody bought it, or I'm sad that I didn't even make half of it, or whatever. But you don't have to be like, you guys are so toxic and you just like keep scrolling and you don't care about me. Like, it's just chill out, dude.
That's the vibe I'm getting. He's saying that without saying that, because he's like, it's not right for humans to scroll from a funny video to a sad video to a happy video. It's like, okay, that all could be true, and I don't disagree with like the premise of what he's saying necessarily. But then again, it's like, how can you believe that? Say it out loud to your audience who is, you know, supporting you in some ways by liking you and engaging in your content, but then say you're doing absolutely nothing to change that or to talk about it or anything. He's just like, I'm just going to jump back in and be a part of the problem, but I need a little break from the issue that I am a big part of.
Well, what's with the break anyway? Like, nobody cares. It's like,
Yeah.
just, I mean, not nobody cares in the sense, I don't mean like they don't care about him. I mean, like, we don't, like, I don't think people want a break. I think they just want like the regular content.
I don't
They're
think they
not
want
saying
anything.
go off of TikTok or like what. I mean, I don't know what they've been saying in the comments. I'm sure that there were mixed opinions, but like, I think he would have, I would hope that he has the maturity to realize that what people are saying with by not buying the ticket, by not enjoying this kind of content, is what they're saying is you're better at the other thing and we really like the other thing. So it's like feedback. It's so easy, it's so usable in his case because he's so good at the funny thing anyway. So it's like, just do more of that. Like, you know,
if you want to
clearly
make money,
people
if
want
you
that.
want to make art that you want to make it. But then just
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
expect the commercial success that you've had doing the other thing that's making, you know, money.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
everyone's
So
thing. Everyone goes through that, I think. Every artist in the world has decided, do I do landscapes that are $0 in revenue, or do I go and paint murals for businesses that I don't give a shit about, but makes me $1,000 a week?
yeah.
You know? Like,
And I think with short films, it's kind of a shame that this was a flop, but at the same time, like, he now knows when he makes a short film, he needs to make it funny. He's already funny, he can make it funny, so he kind of has a recipe for the next one now.
yeah.
Like, he's like, sure, 100%, okay, this is not gonna like resonate with people, so why don't I make it funny and just like put some of the serious stuff like throughout it, in weave it in some way, so that they enjoy, you know.
If that's his goal, if it's to get
that's what-
people
yeah.
to like it, it's like, okay, then make it likable. You know, don't make it so heavy and deep. But maybe that's what he wants to make, which is fine. But like, then again, you can't expect, you know, the numbers. And I guess I'm not going to play it because obviously I don't want to get like in trouble, but I can see how many views he got. Let's see. Oh, maybe I can't. Oh, never mind. Dang, he like really blocks how many people supported this. I wonder if it's a lot. Like, I wonder if this has like 100,000 views secretly, and he's bitching that like, you know, oh, no one supported me. And the other thing is, and this is something I thought of with Dave Hollis as well with Pancake Gate, you know, it really says fuck you to the people who did buy the ticket, who have supported you from the beginning when you are crying and hysterical about the amount that didn't. It really just says F you to everyone, in Dave's case, that showed up to these random parking lots across the country to support him and get their book signed at last minute and like, you know, dropped everything to support him and be there. And then he's going to, you know, bitch and moan and like, oh, unfollow me, because it wasn't good enough to, you know, to show off to his rich buddies at the country club. Like, oh, I'm a New York Times bestseller. But those people who, you know, went and supported him, it really just, and maybe they don't care. They'll say they don't care. But to me, it just sucks. It's like all the people who watched this and did like it and do comment and say, wow, this is great. He doesn't seem to, it's not good enough.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of it's kind of sad for people and for someone like him, if he had like supporters for a long time and stuff. It's kind of sad because those people are like, they have, you kind of get, as a creator, you get essentially the people that support you all the time, they're like a springboard. And then there's like the occasional viewers, and he's essentially saying through this, I don't care about you guys, I care about the occasional ones. And it's like, no.
You care about the
That's-
number as a unit, not each individual person that's making a choice to support you. And it sucks.
Yeah, and it really does, and it's not good for business either, because like those occasional viewers don't care about him. They don't know his life story. They don't know anything about him. So of course he's gonna get less support even in comments, like, because occasional, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, do you want to watch? This is super cringe, in my opinion. It fits the Cringe-Fluencer title. Now, someone in the comments a while back today said something about like, I'm envisioning his mom walking in during this, and it's funny that they say that because, well, we'll see. Now, I'll say I think this is cringe. I'll take the responsibility of saying, to me, some people might resonate with this, but personally, I was
wanna
like,
see.
well, okay. It's titled Intermission.
Ooh. That is not even in focus. I can't see. Oh, Instagram. Okay.
He's re-downloading TikTok on his 16% charged phone.
My favorite thing about the movie is like it feels like a movie. It feels like a real like.
I spent a week in Tulum and it was a complete and utter paradise.
The life of the silver back glitter is often a social. Everyone, I've decided to step away from this platform to focus on my family and my relationships.
Brodywellmaker spent $40,000 on a short film and is upset that no one bought tickets to watch it, and now he's quitting TikTok.
Wait a
for good.
second. You're quitting TikTok?
I'm not. I never said that I was. I said I was taking a break.
I thought I'd weigh in on this brodywellmaker controversy. I'm an independent filmmaker, and I spent around the same as Brody, and I uploaded my film for free. Meanwhile, Brody expects people to pay $15.
It's not $15. It's been $5. You should reply to that video.
No.
Think about the
What do
internet
you
now.
know? This, what is
There's
this?
misinformation, and then other people make videos off of that video, and it spreads like a virus. So it's just not worth it.
So by now, I'm sure that many of you have heard the controversy behind Brody Wellmaker. Brody Wellmaker is a creator who is quitting TikTok because his short film
This is
did not do well.
insanity. Your break was completely and totally unrelated to your short. What the hell is going on?
Learn from these two creators' massive mistakes and failures.
Okay, that's enough.
This is so hard to watch.
Are you okay?
Oh, it gets worse.
Hey.
I just want people to be happy. That's why I got into this. And Everybody seems pretty upset.
Oh my god.
Okay, I didn't want to spoil the ending, but that is my least favorite thing that creators say. I'm doing this to make people happy. Give me a fucking break, okay?
Yeah.
It's not why you're doing it. Stop lying to people.
Yeah, they're doing it because it's their job.
Yes, you get attention, which is something that everyone wants to a certain degree. It's glamorous, it's cool, it's like popular, it's fun. There is negatives, but that's why people do it. And it does, people do enjoy it. Yeah. Okay, that's part of it, but you're not sacrificing your life, your happy life to make others happy on TikTok. Give me a break. Come on.
And it's funny how he was so under the impression that he was not responding to that. He was the bigger man, while at the same time not being the bigger man and totally responding. It's like, wow, like not being the bigger man. Which, by the way, I do not support people. I do not encourage people trying to be the bigger man. Never be the bigger person.
Be the smaller.
Be the smaller person. Be petty. That's
be petty.
Seriously, but I'm seriously passionate about this because being the bigger person always benefits the person who did you wrong. That's who benefits from that. You never benefit from being the bigger person and from forgiveness. So fuck that.
I agree. I totally agree. It's like the victim mentality. It's like, don't be a victim. It's like, who benefits from that? The perpetrator of that victim. So be a victim if you are, or if you must, or if you want to be. Stop telling people, don't be a victim. It's like, if you're a victim either way, whether you believe you are or not. So it doesn't change it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not what I'm saying with this comment, but what I'm saying is like he's trying to pretend like he is the bigger person while not being the bigger person, which makes it cringe. Because it's like
he thinks he's risen above it, but he really has risen underneath it.
Nah, they won't understand. Like
and that character was supposed to be his mother because he did say mom. And I didn't know who it was, but that's his mom.
I thought it's like his girlfriend, but yeah,
No.
okay. Mom.
And also, just so everyone knows, that was not my added music. That was the music he has included on his own.
That
I swear to God.
Is heavenly.
Da-ding. That's what the movie's sort of like. It's sort of the same vibes as this, and that's why I was struggling to watch it and finish it.
Andrea, I love that. I'm worried because Swoosh has merch called Petty University, and I don't want her to think that not that she would ever see my channel. Not that she would ever see my channel, but she has like Petty University. But I would like to go with something like that. I love it. It's so funny.
I support. I'll buy it.
Be petty.
I agree. Just be petty. Never be the bigger person. Merch.
Yeah. Yeah, let's keep thinking.
Let's workshop.
Keep thinking, but it's great. It's a great start because I have been thinking about like updating my merch in January, so I do need some ideas on that. And we should probably come up with cringe merch.
I know we need a new cringe merch.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a good milestone. I don't know if having milestone merch is good or bad. I always just think it gives me time to like get it together before. I'm like, I'm at 12,000 now. Okay, maybe by the time like 15 and 6 months rolls around, like I'll have an idea. That'll be good.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe when we get to 5,000 or something.
Yeah, we're halfway there.
That's pretty far away, right? Oh.
Yeah, we're like 2,400, I think. That's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
But we really won't be happy until we hit 1 million trillion followers. It will never be enough until we're there. So
and then it will still not be enough because we have actually sacrificed our true talents this whole time.
We're here for you to be cringe. It's not us that cares. Lord. God. Yeah. So bad. Anyways,
that was bad.
So that's that.
Worse than I thought.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. So that was posted 16 hours ago. So, I'm sure he'll be back in 5 minutes.
The break was like 3 hours. He had time to go for a run and have breakfast, and
He made a whole
back to
film.
it.
He made a whole short film on his break. Thank you, Z.
Oh, thank you, Z.
Z says, when you two decide to take a break, we expect this level of high quality production, the soft, subtle tickle of piano keys in the background, bisexual lighting, scratching of your beards. Yes. Crumpling of the snacks that I put next to me gently on the couch.
Oh, that was so bad
Who will
too.
play the mom? You or me?
I don't know. I can do a pretty good mom. I can be
Okay.
mean.
Okay.
Wait, no, moms are the opposite of mean, like not like my mom.
I was going to say, not my mom.
Yeah, you should be the mom. I wouldn't know how to.
Do you need a really stern and misunderstanding and cold character? I got the perfect inspiration for that. My mother. Sorry.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a
She doesn't
very
watch.
good one.
She'll never know.
Does she know you have a channel?
I don't think so. I hope not. The day
my
that she
God.
finds out, I'll be never coming on again. That's when I'll take my break. When
Be
my
like
mom finds
copyright claim.
Oh.
This is my child.
This is my flesh and blood. That's basically a copyright. I trademarked her at birth.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to watch my short film?
Yes, let's do this. This will be a good intermission.
Yes, intermission. That says nothing really to do with this, except that it is also a short film. And it is also cringe, most likely. I have not watched it since 2011, probably. So once again, just to give myself a preface and some, points, this was filmed in 48 hours. Okay, just so you know. Okay, ready.
That is a big factor, you guys, by the way, because I've also done that competition, and it's very short. It's like you don't have time because one day needs to go to editing. So you only literally have one day to come up with a script. Like nothing can be done in advance. You have to come up with a script, and on that day, write the script, get the team, go shoot the whole thing, and ingest all the footage for the next day to be edited. That's
Yeah.
how we did it. But so it's very very tight. It's meant to. It's not that it happens, but it's meant to be like looking good, like a short film. So not like YouTube. On YouTube, I could pull out a video in 2 days, but like
Yes,
short film
films
is
are different when it's a whole
Yeah.
like concept and shots. And like I said, this was my, explanation for what injustice was and to explain like all of our problems in 48 hours in a 3-minute video. So
okay, justice.
like a bit off a little bit more than I could probably chew. And this is a 2-man crew, so production crew, so me and a guy, and then everyone else is like, volunteer actors. So
This is exciting.
okay, ready? It's called Spent.
Get your popcorn, everyone.
Everyone start recording. Okay, here we go. Here's my feet.
No crumbling?
Look at my nails.
Wow.
Got that stop frame. Hold on, let me move ourselves smaller.
I don't care how much it costs. Just charge it.
What is going on?
How much does it cost?
It's stop frame animation of this penny. Just not done very well. The penny is traveling around the library and it's listening to all these conversations about money.
I love that your shot was like from above, so we can't even see where it was.
I understand that. But how many times do I have to tell you, man? You're not taking one penny out of my account. This is my company. This is my money. Just remember, profit over people. Be there in 5 minutes.
I have so many issues with money.
My
Profit over me.
What?
Ooh, nice.
establishing shot.
Sell, sell, sell. What don't you get? Profit over people. Profit over people. I'm here to make money, not friends.
That's me
How
in the
many times
shirt.
do I have to say this? Profit over people. Profit over people.
Think we got the point across?
Every penny counts. Now get out of my sight.
Just written down profit over people. Sell, sell, sell.
Ooh, there's some cooking.
That's not me.
So have you thought about it yet?
So cryptic.
Still no answer, huh? You know, this internship isn't bringing in any money. You need to get a real job.
Sell, sell, sell. What don't you get?
You know, this internship isn't bringing in any money. You need to get a real job.
Profit over people. Profit over people. How many times do I have to say this? Every penny counts.
And I apologize for this part in advance.
Money, he said, put me in your pocket, then I'll be your friend. And you won't have to worry about being sad. You got yourself some money to spend. And money, he told me get some more cash. I'm feeling kind of lonely, but I don't think that he's the only. No, I don't know why he thinks that he's the only one. No, I
The
don't
big reveal, guys. It's all the same person.
What? Wait.
warm me up with a big bill full of leaves changing and
All of these are inside of all of us.
I think you're just getting one thing that he is good at. I think
Oh, God.
fat now when a dance break.
Hold on. He was homeless?
He was, so it was supposed to be like money affects everybody differently, but it could all, we could have gone down any of these paths. It's all us.
Wow. I love it.
You could be in between making your dreams work. You could be the successful business guy, or you can be homeless. And what connects us is money and our pathway with it. It's a lot to take in 3 minutes, you know?
So was this money over people? Is this the thing that they give you that you have to use in the movie?
I forget what, I think it was like, I forget what the topic was.
Multiple times, so I'm guessing that's what it was. Because they usually give you like you have to use 3 words and like, you know, this needs to appear somewhere.
I think it was like you must have a penny in the movie.
You delivered on that. Like, you were like, yeah.
You know what this makes, because I did not watch this until now. This makes you feel like, you know, they say like the more things change, the more things stayed the same. Like, yeah. I basically returned. I feel like I've lived a whole life, and then I just came back to my basic beliefs again. Because there's a lot of me still in this movie.
I mean, you had a point, you know, like
right?
it was hard to, it was hard to tell what happened at the end. But now that you've explained it, yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate it.
That
Now
was
just send
amazing.
$5 I'll rebate. Now that you've liked it, I want the money. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, I guess like I do have issues with money. I've said this many times on my channel, especially like with like feeling like fairness and like, you know, privilege and all that stuff. And I've always been trying to like explain it in different ways. And maybe this is just like the cringe way to do it.
And Kayla is like over the years on YouTube is trying to refine the message.
Literally, it's like the same
like
shit.
The year will
different
get
day.
spent 2.0. Spain spent the intermission.
Spent.
Oh wow, that
Again.
was deep. That was deep.
Thank you.
Honestly, that was amazing. I loved it.
Oh,
And by the way, you guys, they did this on, what'd you call it? On tape.
Tape. Yeah, an actual
was like-
DV tape, because this is 2010, so Think of
Yeah.
like, we had to like, okay, wait, we got the shot of the outside of that office. Okay, we got to go and like put a new tape in now. We've reached the end of the 30 minutes.
And
Man, good times.
if we could also show the one where I don't know if I should. Let's not do that.
Why? You want to show yours?
I was thinking about it, but like, you know what? I think everyone is better off. No, see. I think you guys should pay me not to show you.
Yeah, we need to have a hater Patreon tier. Don't show me the videos tier. Don't release a video. God, that is such a good, I'm telling you, that is such a good marketing plan. Like a guerrilla marketing plan.
Thank you.
Feet content. Thank you, Z. I appreciate that.
No. No, it's fantastic.
We did have
I
two
loved it so much.
raw dogs in that movie. For that, I will say,
you are privileged AF.
For those feet shots.
You really delivered with this. Like this was
Thank
just
you.
loved
Chef's
it.
kiss. Well, we can start revealing more videos.
Over
I've been
time.
making videos forever, so I got a lot I can reveal.
Oh
Over
God.
time.
Oh, that was so good. I
Haley wants
just
to see
love.
yours.
There were transitions. There was like deep music. There was money over people.
I really relied on that song that they provided us pretty heavily.
Yeah.
Man.
You want to see it, but it's not really mine. I was an actress in it. It's my ex's and his pal, but we won the Glasgow thing and then went to Seattle for the. And all I do in this, like I played the heartbreaker, so my role was to make out. But yeah, I can show you if you guys want. But
It's Blizzard, right? Is that the one?
it's Blizzard, yeah.
Okay, hold on. I have it already.
It's also very, very deep, but like in this time, we're gonna laugh at my ex, not really me. I didn't come up with the script and stuff.
Okay, perfect. All right. Everyone get your $5 out. If you don't want to watch it, pay us. I'm
I
just kidding.
can't. This is so. I hate this.
Okay, here we go. It's short as well. This is
Yeah, it was the
Cam's
same thing. It was the same
acting.
competition, like a 48-hour thing, but I don't remember which year, like 2018 or something.
I think
2019.
it said 2016. And this
Okay.
won. This
A
won.
long time
Okay,
ago.
mine was a non-winner. Mine was a loser. The profits won. The people lost, in my case.
God, I can't believe I'm doing this. I feel like I'm gonna get a call from my ex being like, "Why did you?"
Why did you share this? It's really great. And I have not watched this yet either, so.
Well, enjoy.
I'm ready. I want to see Cam's acting debut.
Yes.
Where are you? I love you. Oh. Poison. Profit over people. Profits over people.
We also had the conference room.
Because it's a free space to shoot in.
This is what we had. Think
big. Same thing. Hey. Ah! What is this? A mask?
This is so cringe. I can't.
I like it. It's really shot well. Oh, wow. Never take shit. Oh no. Oh, damn.
Oh God.
Got spicy.
Did you notice the team leader sticker?
Team leader.
Yeah, it's on, it's on his shirt. In case you didn't know.
Main actor.
Oh my God. Oh, this is so cringe.
I like it. This is not as cringe as mine was. I think. I love you, Dom. Ah.
Did you get it? Because he was eating the sandwich from me. He was taking shit.
Oh. Okay. So
I made him this shit sandwich with like tomato and tuna. And the guy was like, "Don't take shit." And then he,
think big. And he's
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm going to go run him over with my car. And then he's like, actually, nah.
I'd rather take the shit.
I'll just take the shit.
This
And
was
he's a
so
team
bad.
leader.
Why are all these so dramatic? so
We're
so
angsty.
cringe.
You know, we have feelings. I liked it. Okay, very well shot. Shots look amazing. Acting, 10 out of 10. Especially
Thank you.
that girlfriend character. Whoever
Yeah.
that was. Best acting I've ever seen. And it was like racy.
Oh,
Definitely
yeah,
very much like, whoa. I thought it was just gonna be
Yeah.
like the little nuzzles. I'm like, oh, okay. And then it was like a full blown,
full on. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's good.
That was so bad. Oh my God. I can't believe this one. This is so ridiculous.
Good. I want to, yeah.
Can you imagine just how bad like these films are? Like if this one,
The one that won my year was it was starring Socks. Was like it was called Socks. So, hey.
Yeah.
Can't win them all.
Yeah, exactly.
I liked it, and I think
I broke into sweats like this.
I'm sweating too. I'm sweating so bad. It's also hot as hell in here, but still. Showing off your work, and to give Brody, going back full circle, some credit. It is nerve-wracking, especially when it's deeper, and you're not using humor to like pad against, your inner feelings. It's like a risk for sure. It's very much like, what if they think it's cringe? Like, and these are my true, struggles with profit over
What
people.
if they think what is true? That this is cringe and terrible.
What if they actually see it?
Haley, this was filmed in Glasgow.
In Glasgow?
Yeah.
Okay. Very beautiful. American flag sucks.
I didn't. All I did was just make out. So that was my contribution.
Well, you did well.
Still, I find it cringe that I was with that guy for 5 years.
You had chemistry on camera, I saw it. I felt it. I felt it in my bones.
Oh,
Thank you, Z. He says Steven Spielberg called. He wants his leading lady back.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, but no, I sucked. I ruined all of their takes because I could not pretend like it's not funny. I was there just like, and we were actually drinking beer, so I was just like, well, just
getting sloshed
going
on set,
drunk and laughing, and they were like, no, this is serious. It's a silent movie.
It's a silent movie. That's always the best. That's the best. If you have a short deadline, here's a tip from some really experienced filmmakers here who have had massive success. If you only have 48 hours, not having dialogue, best idea, because that's a whole other beast.
You don't have to sync the sound. It's like, that takes forever.
I agree. I totally agree. And Cam, just this is for you, and this is for Z also.
It's okay to cry.
It is.
Yeah. No, don't worry. I
Always
have.
Remember.
I have.
Never forget.
Plenty.
Think big, profit over people. That's our slogan.
These are for sure things that they gave us, because why else would? And the team, they I don't know what it was like. Maybe when you did it, it was slightly different, because if they gave you a camera and stuff, like, we didn't have any of that. We had to deal with whatever we
Production.
had.
Yeah.
But what they would do, they would say, like, there needs to be a character called Dom, and there needs to be tomatoes, and there needs to be think big, and like, it needs to say team leader somewhere in the movie.
Interesting. I like that though. That really does, like, I feel like helps me create something when you have like strict barriers like that. Because you have to force it into the box. So you can't get too crazy with it. You have to like stick to something. I don't know. I like when there's parameters, which probably makes me a square. Yeah.
It makes people get really creative.
Yeah.
But I am just dead. I can't believe I just saw that. Like, that's...
Well, Brody inspired us to share our moments.
That was something.
Yeah. At least I didn't spend 40 grand on it. Yeah, I agree.
No, we didn't. But we didn't get any money from it either. Oh, we did. We did go to Seattle, so I guess they paid for our trip. Well, they paid for their trip. They didn't pay for mine.
Still, that's pretty good. I didn't.
Yeah.
The losers didn't get anything, but experience.
Exactly.
And
now here she is making a channel called Cringe-Fluencers.
I became my worst enemy, or I became what I feared most: cringe.
Yeah. We took control of the cringe.
Yes, we did,
and we turned it around on other people.
They'll never laugh at me again. I'll laugh at them.
Yeah. Fixed.
Solved problem. Projection is the way.
Exactly.
Okay, that was fun. Thank you all for sticking around for
Brody.
that. Just like Brody. Yeah, we are Brody. We are Brody.
Brody is us.
Brody fam. No, I'm just kidding. I'm really over his whole thing. I'll support from afar, like, hey, hope you change. But for now, I'm not into it, personally.
No, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, it's like, get over it. already.
And
Okay.
like, none of that was even necessary. Like, why did he even post at all? Like, just don't. Like, sometimes saying nothing is better than saying something.
That should be the next short film. Saying
Slogan.
nothing is better than saying something. Sometimes. Anyways,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
God, this was an emotional ride.
I
But we
know.
still have to get to Gary V.
yeah, I'm sweating. I'm crying later. It's
Yeah.
okay.
It's okay
Now it's time
cry.
to go to Gary V. And he actually, speaking of crying, that's the perfect segue. Speaking of
Oh my
crying,
God, perfection.
Gary V doesn't want to cry. Tell us more, Cam.
So, this is not the first time Gary V has done this. He recently also had another video in which he was talking about trust fund babies and how sad they are. So he has developed a habit, in my opinion, of sticking for the little trust fund baby.
Sticking up for the rich guy.
Yeah.
I love his thing. I looked at his bio. Early investor, Facebook, Venmo, Twitter, Snap. However, he also talked about all these other companies that never made it and like failed, and he doesn't list those. Just saying.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so we're gonna specifically watch one about modes of transportation and the emotions associated with such. Here we go. Let me reset.
I'm done with people saying shit like, I'd rather cry in my Ferrari. It's the stupidest fucking statement of all time. So fucking stupid. People say shit like that when they don't realize what crying is. Depression is horrible. Unhappiness is horrible. Nobody wants to fucking cry in their Ferrari. I'd rather be happy as fuck taking the bus. I'm done with people saying shit like...
Okay, agree with what he's saying. But...
Yes, but first of all, I don't think that's what people mean when they say I'm gonna cry in my Ferrari. I don't think they mean it. Yeah, I would rather want to kill myself today.
Yeah.
Just I don't think it's it's I wish Savvy was here. Is this a straw man? Where you compare two things that are not really like that. When people say that, what they mean is like they want to have some money to survive.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's the same thing. It's like, well, I'm going to be probably upset either way, or nothing's perfect ever. So I might as well have money to, be upset. Being upset with money, and then also, I don't know, and whatever. I don't think he means it because he's never rode the bus ever. So I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of times it's like a matter of people not being able to really like survive like in a decent way, that they feel like they have some leftover money or whatever. And I think that's where it comes in, because like there is the whole debate about the ethics of making money, and that oftentimes, and I would agree with that, people have made their money in very unethical ways. So
yeah,
that's
including
I think
him.
where including him and including others. But anyway, so I find that it's very tone deaf, especially now, because like there's just so much happening in the world. There was a pandemic, there was a recession in 2020, there's another recession now. It's like, just I don't know, what is this obsession that self-help influencers have with like money and just pushing that. And essentially in this case, it's kind of like also intertwined with like, no, I would rather be talented and poor, and I would have so much better odds. It's like, I mean, okay.
Okay, good luck. Do it then,
But like, what if you're talentless and poor? Like, what then?
No
Like,
help for you.
Why don't we compare the talentless rich people to the talentless poor people instead of
Agreed.
talented poor to talentless rich? Like, it's like kind of feels like he's not using the right criteria, if that makes sense. And I feel the same way. Did we show the one before that I'm talking about? I feel like we did talk about it at one point.
Which one? The one with the...
The one with the trust fund babies.
Yeah. We did a segment
Yeah,
on it.
okay. It's not in my head. Sorry. For a second, I was like, am I imagining this?
No, it's on the channel. We cut a highlight of it too, so if you want to watch it, it's on there.
Yeah. So this is the same thing. It's like, profits over people, indeed.
I think this is like a what do you call it, like a trend, I guess, that I see with influencers, and even like the person who comments, like Jasmine Star. I see her all over my feed about like Instagram. I'm going to teach my masterclass on Instagram or whatever. People start to go, money's not that important. You shouldn't worry about money that much. It's all about passion and purpose. When they have secured multi-millions of dollars and are secure in that and feel like, okay, I have an engine that is producing money for me. Now their messaging switches, of course, because now you're teaching classes or speaking about things that might not make people money. So now it's not about the money. Now it's about the purpose, because that's easier to sell. And how do you quantify purpose and feeling good? You can't. So it's like, well, I never promised that I was going to teach you how to make money. All I promised was I was going to teach you to find your purpose. And that seems to be the pivot. And it also makes you look like a good guy. Like, oh, he doesn't care about money. It's like, well, now that he's got multi-millions, yeah, he doesn't have to worry. And that's fucking obvious.
Yeah. And I would agree that that's what they try to pretend, like it's all about the purpose and that's what they're teaching you. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, every single person that is teaching you about purpose is telling you how rich they are and how poor they once were. It's like, if you're talking about purpose, why do we need to hear your sob story and how poor you once were and how amazing you are now, about the fact that you have money now, like all of that stuff? I just don't. It's upsetting. I don't know why. It's just very frustrating, because especially when he comes at it from this angle of having a lot of money. It's like, what do you know about depression and poverty, like combined? You don't know anything about it. Like, you literally have not lived through it. Your dad had like a wine company anyway, so even that level, I don't think he was poor. So
yeah,
it's like, it's kind of trying, it's condescending. It's condescending to people who are actually going through depression and having other circumstances that are like difficult.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. And I don't know who he's talking to. Like, again, like his audience with, oh, trust fund babies are, the worst and they're so sad and depressed. Okay, that's like a very small smidgen, if any, of his actual viewers. I think most of his viewers are like teen boys to, the millennial men mostly, who are wanting, financial freedom and wanting passive income, all these things that we've been told for now a decade that is possible if you just buy my course, and we all sort of deep down know it's not possible. So this message of like, oh, well, trust fund babies have it the worst and all that, I don't know who he's exactly targeting here, because it's not his audience necessarily. So I think he just feels confused about, or he feels like he needs to make it known that he's different than other influencers. He's different than other gurus. And he definitely has that vibe where he like tries to differentiate himself from like a Grant Cardone type who's selling a course, who's like, come to my conference and pay me money directly. Gary gets paid by those confluencers, but he does it indirectly so he can keep this like squeaky clean image, which I find to be just as problematic.
I never think of Gary Vee as clean. Like, to me, he's doing the same exact tactics of the self-help industry. He's capitalizing off of people who don't have money. And it feels a bit like he's losing touch, like you said. Like, remember who your audience is. Like, why are you constantly like just talking so kindly about all these trust fund babies and like rich people when your audience is most likely not rich people? It sounds like he's been accused of something and he's like defending himself.
He is.
Almost.
Totally. Yeah. Oh yeah. People, I mean, that's the biggest criticism is like, you're rich now. And I think he's always sort of been, somewhat okay. Not everyone's parents, like, he will tell him his story as if he's an immigrant with a story. And in a way he is an immigrant, but he came when he was 2. So, okay, the memories before living life in Belarus, I don't think are very clear. So he lived in New Jersey his whole life, essentially. His dad owned a business, which, is difficult. But by the time Gary was like, middle school, high school, I think it was doing very well. So he didn't really have the same story. Like his dad's story, his mom's story of coming to this country and making it is really the American dream story. His is a story of privilege. Sorry, like I know he doesn't want to hear that. He wishes in a way that he was his dad, probably, as probably a lot of men think, deep down in some ways that like, oh, if only I had I don't know, whatever, that side. But, I think he tries to make his story more vulnerable than it really is. He's a guy who got really lucky, made a lot of smart choices early on in his career, and now he's trying to continue it. But yeah, he's losing touch with like, what's the point now?
Yeah, and it feels, I guess maybe the reason why this immigrant thing is really annoying to me is because I was an immigrant, and I potentially will be back in the UK as an immigrant again, as like this first generation, as in I moved, like my parents didn't. So it's like most people would say that the kids of the immigrant are first generation, and I'm just a bit like, the kids are born there, like they're literally living in that culture. When someone is like moving to a different culture as an adult or like whatever, not at 2 years old, definitely, like maybe when they're like 6, 10, whatever, they can go through the same thing, but like at 2 years old, like he doesn't have even like
you're learning the language like every other kid in America's learning at that time. You're not having to learn it later. It's different. It doesn't mean it wasn't hard,
adapt.
But
It
it's a different story.
Up. And it's like a whole other experience, and I do think that there is a level of culture that he probably has within the family that makes him different than other like kids that are just born in American families. But at the same time, he grew up in that culture. Like his friends were, the same people, like Americans, like the language was the same. He didn't have to adapt to these things.
Yeah.
And I remember talking about this a long time ago, actually, about Best Dressed, because her dad is an immigrant in the US, but he's from Britain. So people were like criticizing her for saying that he was an immigrant. But I'm like, okay, yes, true. Like maybe he's not poor, but like being an immigrant is not all about being poor. Like just there's, I don't know, it's a misconception, I feel. And also it's like, when you move to a different place, even though I guess like for him it's easier because the language is the same, but you still have to adapt to that culture. It's still like other people, other places, another culture. So you like the same kind of things of being an immigrant are happening, save for the language in his case. And it's like I would say he's a hell of a lot more of an immigrant than Gary Vee. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he'll tell his story like at every talk he gives. He says like, I'm from Belarus and I escaped communism, or like, it's like sort of like that. It's like, is that what happened?
He didn't escape any. Oh my God, this is so annoying because actually, like, my parents lived in communism, my grandparents lived in communism, and that was like a hard time for people. That was awful. Like the level of control the communists had over people was insane. They were not even allowed to be religious. They were not allowed to like believe in a God because God was above the government. So they were not allowed. My parents actually got married in secret by a priest in the house because my dad was in the military. So it's very different. But his parents would have experienced it. He did not. He does not understand what that is. He does not know what that is. Like he may have heard of it, like I've heard of it.
Your parents have told you, yeah,
but he didn't. He didn't escape communism.
He's taking the story on his own and using it to profit and monetize and make himself relatable in some way, or not even relatable, but almost like they call it like what's the word? It's like something porn. It's like empathy porn or something that people are calling it now online, where it's like, you know, your story, like we talked about with Ed Millett, like, oh, my dad died and the last thing he told me was like, make sure to profit, son. You know, like taking the saddest part or possibly the most traumatic part of your life and making it into this hero story so that you can now be a figure that people can get behind and go, oh, wow, he's overcome so much. Either I can do it too, or, oh, I'm going to support him in this man because he's gone through so much. And it's like, in reality, you know, has he? I mean, to me, that doesn't really affect my buying decisions necessarily. If I'm going to buy a product, oh, did the guy suffer in his life? But, you know, some people, especially when it comes to like life coaching online in general, engaging with a creator, it sort of does factor in to a lot of people.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think it is meant to just have people look up to him. It's meant to give him status. It's meant to give him credibility, like, I overcame this and I made it, blah blah blah. It's not meant to make you relate to him. It is meant to make people relate to him, but it's not meant to be, I don't think it's ever meant to be inspirational. I think what it's meant to do is just, first, people will pity him, and then they will look up to him. They will trust what he says because he clearly knows what he's doing. So it just gives him a lot of credibility, and he can then go on stages and ask for like $100,000 an hour. Yes, Kimberly, I was just gonna say, we have breaking news.
The Queen died? Oh my gosh.
The Queen just died.
Oh.
Or we just got the news.
I was gonna start the Queen. It's gonna pop up.
Sorry, this is a sad time, everyone.
Can I say something? And like, rest in peace to the Queen. But I don't like the royal family at all.
Nah,
the idea of it. I don't care about the people involved. Like, everyone's a person, and I, you know, on a level of human beings, I, you know, like to some degree. But like the idea of the Queen and the prince and like, I just find it very hard in modern times to be like, their blood is better. I don't care. Not that I don't care that she died, but I just feel like I would have a hard time like going, yes, Queen.
Back in history, the way that kings and queens were, or the royal family in general, was seen was as descendants of the divine. So like before education, before enlightenment. That's where that whole thing is coming from, that people are thinking they're like above. But in
pure
reality,
blood. I don't like it.
In reality, we're just paying taxes, and they are spending loads of money on like gigantic palaces, and they're living like kings and queens, and that's based on the money of the people. So
I'm surprised that more people don't push back against it. And as an American, you know, we don't have that. We sort of got rid of that earlier in our history, but you know, it's obviously different now. But I don't know. I guess maybe it's like the history of it, the tradition is the exciting part. But it does really. People have always asked me, they're like, why don't you cover Meghan Markle or Prince Harry? And I do want to cover Prince Harry because apparently he's pushing. He has like a life coaching thing now, which I'm like, what the hell? He's going to be doing life coaching. Interesting. But I just feel like it would be me covering a random actress because her royalty to me is meaningless. So I didn't know if I wanted to come out with that immediately and say like, oh, you know, like I don't believe in this. And I think it's actually pretty old of us to be still, you know, adhering to these things that are hurtful to people who are not them. I think it's just a hurtful idea to think anyone is born better than anyone else because of who their parents are. And
it's just privilege. That's all there is. It's not better as a person by any means. And I also think, you know, considering how much the UK has colonized the world, the royals, I would like for the royal family to stop being, I don't know.
Here's my message.
If they can just stop being royal.
Just stop.
Thank you, guys. No, but like I mean, in terms of their job, they don't have a real job. They're just like representatives. That's it.
Mhm.
Like, but they don't have their job in politics is not meaningful in the sense that they cannot affect how the politics go. They
Mhm.
cannot. Well, technically, like the prime minister, when they become prime, like Liz Truss now would have had before the queen died, would have had
Mhm.
to. I feel like these guys had their articles ready. Like
Oh
this
yeah.
was they had them ready. Like this is very
The
long.
news has them. The news has stuff already done, like packages already cut of like their life history and stuff. That's a thing
Yeah,
for
so
sure. When you get older.
what I was trying to say was that basically the prime minister would technically have to ask permission to the queen to become prime minister, but it like the queen cannot say no. So it's
Mhm.
not like she has power in that. Maybe once upon a time they had power, and that's why that thing was implemented. But in recent years, like there's nothing that they can do if the people. It's not like people vote for the Liz Truss, but people voted for the conservatives. So this is a representative of the conservatives. So
Mm.
it's kind of it's sad that she died. Yeah, it's but
It's sad when
like
I
I mean
agree. It's sad when anyone
she
dies.
had a happy life. It's
Yeah,
it's
she was
fine.
96. That's
She
a
was
pretty
96 and she was a queen. Like you couldn't live better than her. You know what I mean?
What more do you want, Elizabeth?
Yeah.
Like we've given you everything. Yeah, it is sad though. But yeah, I think I maybe this is the time to speak out against it because it just I think it has not been rejected enough because okay, when Harry got married, there was, at least in the United States, there was, 24-hour watch coverage on the news of like the wedding ceremony. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
What is this? Like, is this like we're interested in because this is quirky and this is what the UK does? Or are we like pedestaling this culture and this idea of blood is different? Like, your blood is not as good as these people. And therefore, we're going to watch their wedding 24 hours a day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane, and it's not even like. I mean, is she your queen? You're not American, you're Canadian.
Well, I'm American technically. I mean, I'm American and Canadian, but I mean, yeah, she was on Money in Canada. She's on, or she was. I think
So
the money's
she-
changed, but she was on certain bills. But
But
like, no
she
one
is
like goes,
she's
"Hail
still
the queen!"
No, she
Yes.
is. Well, not anymore. She was the
She was.
queen in the sense that they had these parades coming for her and stuff like that every time she would step into a colony or an ex-colony.
Mm. Well, there's Queen's Day, I believe, in Canada. So I
Yeah.
think that's something.
Or the King's
I think
Day.
it's cool. I think it's cool in the idea of like, oh, that's cool, the Queen. Like, we don't have that in the United States. But also, I'm just.
But also,
I think it's the premise. It's the premise of what it means. It's like if I think about this a lot, and maybe it holds me back in life probably more than it helps me. But it's like if we're saying this, then this must also be true, And I do that a lot. I'm like, okay, if we're all okay with one family because of their blood being allowed to take taxpayer money to live in a place because they are simply born different and better. Like there's no way other than marriage to get
Yeah.
into this family and to be, respected at this higher level. Like, oh, there's a level you have to bow down. Literally, my body must like cringe over so that I can like
Yeah.
show how lowly I am compared to this person.
Yeah.
If that exists in today's world, which it does, then it must be like, well, other people are psychics. Other people are, like
No.
different races must be better than other races. Because how are we saying this is okay, but this is not okay? There's no difference to me in that way. It's like, well, you can discern it. It's like, can you discern it? Because it's sort of like making a statement, I think, by allowing this and to be celebrated so deeply. Personally.
Yeah, and I think my problem, particularly, especially in the UK, with the royal family and the French, I appreciate because they killed their king a long time ago and the monarchy was dead. So I like that, decapitation done, it's over. And but at least back in the days when actually countries actually had royal families, they were in charge. They had the role. They were in charge of the country. Like it's like the government now. But
Mhm.
now in the UK, what is the point? Like they have
Yeah.
no job. Like
Tradition, I
they're
guess.
just
Lore.
going around spending the people's money. It's like, why are you there? Like we have a government with a prime minister, like they're the ones doing the laws and like they're in charge. Like what are you doing? Like
Mhm.
what's your job? You don't have a job. It's like that's what it just frustrates me because it's like I feel like the UK is sort of behind on this because like
Yeah.
we don't have a royal family in Romania anymore. The French have killed the royal family. Like most royal families are like dead and gone,
Mhm.
and the UK is like, no, they can still spend our money. It's like,
We're still here.
guys,
Well, look at the one guy, Prince Andrew, was like besties
I
with
know.
Epstein allegedly, you know, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's fine, and like he has to, you know, go away socially, but he's still getting money from somewhere from the family. It's like this is what when people don't have like jobs or things to do and they're being told they're above everyone, they have all this unlimited income. It's like that's where they go and seek out things like that. I think in a way, it's like no, he wouldn't have access to Jeffrey Epstein if he wasn't royal.
No, but
So-
also it's like he being in that position of privilege, like no one else, pretty much means that he has gotten away with things his entire life. So what is to say that he would stop at that? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like he would. Why wouldn't he think that he would also get away with this? Like it's
Yeah.
like nothing that he does that is problematic will ever matter because he can get away with anything. Most times the media will not be on high alert like they would be with anyone else because there's like this sort of social contract, or maybe I think it's even more than just a social contract, but there's like a bit of a contract between the media in the UK and the royals, like,
Mhm.
and they don't actually like disclose things like they do with other celebrities. And it's, yeah, you get away for like 60-70 years with like all sorts of crap that you've done. Why not go to Epstein's island, and why not be a pedo? You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm. I just think it's like I guess it goes back to my whole thing about fairness. It all goes back to my short film, essentially.
money over people, everybody.
Everything, all roads lead back to that masterpiece.
I love that money over people was like a penny.
It was to represent
millions or anything.
It was to represent that it passes through all of us, and it's all something we have to deal with. I don't know.
You guys were like, we need money, but we don't have any. So,
Yeah.
what are we gonna do? What about
Penny.
a penny? Will that do?
How much budget do we have for this? I have a penny. Perfect. Let's put it in. Let's use it.
It's so funny. Oh.
It's our paid actor. But like if we are told, and I think this goes back to maybe it's our schooling or maybe it's an American thing, or I don't know where it comes from, but I just remember growing up and being told over and over and over again, you can be whatever you want to be if you put your heart and your soul and your head and your mind to it. Like you can accomplish anything. And I fucking believed that, you know, when I was younger. I was like, I'm gonna be the hardest worker. I'm gonna be the Rachel Hollis of my life, you know. I'm gonna do it better and, you know, harder than everyone.
At 4 a.m.
Yeah, I'll do what it takes because I have the drive. And then over time you realize, oh, that's not how the world works. People are born and are, you know, gestationally manifested into royalty. People don't have to figure it out. There's people who are born like the queen. She didn't have a choice. And maybe that's its own, I'm sure it's its own set of problems and, you know, whatever, like issue. But again, I don't know if I have a brain defect or what, but like if the world does say, and if it's true that, oh, if you work hard and you can accomplish anything, if that's true, how come we also have a royal family? I just cannot, because it's like, well, that person didn't have to do what I'm doing, so how is it fair? Someone needs to explain this to me.
It's the just world fallacy.
Yes.
Yeah,
I definitely struggle with.
we
I'm
were
still
taught.
to this day.
I think millennials were taught this. Like our parents taught us that we can be anything we want and blah blah blah. And it's like, well, I mean, not all parents are the same, but I feel like I'm 30 years old. You just start to realize, oh, this is all they knew. Actually, they
Yeah.
really thought. Like, I don't think they meant to teach you something wrong. I just think this is probably what they really thought, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's for me in my case, uh it was somewhat true in communism because like everyone was considered equal, so there was corruption at the top and like loads of it, but
Sure.
the this idea that I had a hard time understanding this in the UK, because in the UK there's like this class system that is very very ingrained, and we kept on talking about class with like all of our friends all of the time. And I was just at one point I was like, why do people keep talking about working class and middle class? Like, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized, so that's the reality of life here. Like, everyone, this is
Here
it.
too.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Same.
and in Romania we didn't have that because we were all poor. We were all destroyed by communism. Like, everyone was like so poor.
And
We
like,
didn't
which
have
one's worse? They're both bad in their own way.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, how do you have income discrepancy? That's more capitalistic, where it's like some people are like billionaires, some people have 0 cents to their name, but at least you have chance and you have a opportunity. Okay, that can be debated about how much. But then is that worse to have some people for it to operate, some people have to be at the bottom? It's like the pyramid scheme. Some people have to make no money and work really hard and never rise for it to be a pyramid. They have to always be down there. Or is it worse to have everyone at the bottom, everyone suffering, and no one having any opportunity? I mean, these are like ethical questions.
That was worse. I would say.
That was worse. Okay, fair.
I mean, it's the realities of communism. I feel like people who have not necessarily grown up with these stories don't quite grasp that. But can you imagine? You have, let's say, you're a young family and you have 2 kids, and the way that you go about surviving is that you have this card from the government, and you go to the shop with this card and you stay in line. And the earlier you go, the better, because you might catch, because there's stock that runs out. They have very little stock, and by the time you get there, they might not have enough like meat or enough eggs for you or enough bread for you, and you get whatever the hell they can give you. And that's it. And you don't have things like chocolate, cigarettes, you don't have perfumes. These things were luxury to the point where communism fell. There were so many people in Romania who got like filthy rich off of going to the West and importing these things
Secretly.
like cigarettes, perfume, stuff like that. No, once it fell, they imported these things and they sold them for like hundreds of thousands because like
God.
nobody
They were so
understood
wanted.
how much they were actually worth, because they were such luxuries. Because for 50 years nobody had access to things like chocolate. Like,
Yeah, it's
or
crazy.
not nobody, but like it was so hard to come by. It was not.
There wasn't 20 brands at every store you enter.
It was,
Yeah.
you didn't have any brands at all, like except for whatever the government gave you. It was the government brand. That's it.
Yeah.
Your news were government news. That's it. Whatever they wanted to let you know, you couldn't get like international news. Everything was censored. Like they took everything out. So
It's so hard. It's so crazy because I feel like that is the communism that we know and we know of, and it's like, that sounds horrible, awful. No one wants to experience that. I don't think that is the solution that, is the, like, it's almost like if you don't like capitalism, the alternative is this very strict, nobody has an opinion, no one has free expression thing. And I wish there was, there probably is, like, seems like Canada maybe has figured it out a little bit, or like a Norway, where it's like a middle ground between basic needs being met by government money or collective taxes. Like, doesn't even mean government, but like we're all putting in for this service so we can all access it, like medical and some basic food or like childcare, something like where it's like, okay, give everyone a fairer chance to then be able to compete.
yeah, Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is a big mistake that I noticed. Like people, or I don't know if to call it a mistake, but in the UK, people always said this. Like they were like at one point, someone in my ex's family was making a short film and asked for my help, and they're like, oh, this guy was a communist, and like, he was like talking about him. This guy had been in like in parliament, and I was like, he was a communist, like, oh my god, like, no. He was like, what do you mean? Like, and I was like it was such a
socialist.
big disconnect, because I was like, no, that's a bad thing. He was like, no, that's a great thing. And I'm like, we are not. Like, this is the
We have different
same word.
definitions.
Yeah. Yeah,
Interesting.
and I feel like communism is just it's just like a nice ideology that will never really work, and in practice it does a
too
lot of
difficult.
damage. There's
Yeah.
something else. There needs to be a combination of like capitalism and communism, and that's
Capitalism.
yeah, socialism. Yeah.
Hold that. Well, you don't have to hold that thought, but keep talking. I just have to pee really bad. I'm so sorry. I've drank too much of my water. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So, Queen Elizabeth. Let's see what your guys' comments are, because I went on my usual communism rants. Sorry about that. Okay, Megan. When Megan married whatever his name is, a lot of people made cringy posts of like, if she could, we can go. Yeah. I don't know. That's another level of like mystery that they have in their story. I don't know how. She said that somebody put them in touch, like a common friend, but was that gosh, what's his name? I forget his name. The guy who was on the news, who was delivering news, and then he had like this friendship with Megan, and then he got fired from the news. I forgot his name. Anyways, I don't know how they met, but they had to be on the same level of, or in the same groups of people somewhat, so that they can get to meet. Let's see. Diana showed how impossible it is to escape that life, even if you want to. In order for there to be real change, illegally and politically have to be abolished. I totally agree. I feel like it's like well overdue to be abolished. I generally just don't understand why the royal family is still a thing. Like, they should just be independent, wealthy celebs. That's what they should be. They should not be living off of people's taxes. And I don't know. It's 2022 at this point. It's the 21st century. Like, it's time they go get jobs, like Harry's doing it. Harry's doing all sorts of media things to make money, so if he can do it, if he can do it, anyone can. Anyone in the royal family can. Piers Morgan, thank you. Yes, Piers Morgan is the was he the connection? Is that confirmed? Because I feel like I've never really heard it confirmed, but it has been alluded to it many times. So, Kayla, do you happen to know if Piers Morgan was the one who got Meghan and Harry to meet?
That's what he says. I don't believe it. I
don't
Piers
believe
Morgan.
it either, but it has been alluded to it like multiple times, so it was in my head that perhaps he did it, but no, if he did it, like, they would have never broken up as friends.
Yeah, well,
not while they're together, for sure, because he would have always been like the godfather of the relationship or something,
We should talk about Piers Morgan at some point on this channel, because he's so problematic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how it works necessarily over there in England with the news, but like, he totally like gives his opinion as fact all the time. A lot.
Oh, Piers is like,
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like when I was in TV, or when I was trying to like become a journalist, I had this big respect for the field.
Oh, me too.
That has
It's gone.
changed.
It's gone. It's evaporated into thin air.
Now I'm just like, no, this is it's chaos. Like nobody really knows anything, and it's just all made up. So
It's terrifying how much like how bad it is and how no one really knows how bad it is and how much we're relying on these news sources for a lot. And not the nationals, I think, are, much better for the most part. They have issues too, but at the local level, at least in the United States, like 90% of, I would say, now this is just my own, statistics that I'm making up at the top of my head. 90% of American local news stations are run by people who are, little to no experience, I would say, are starting off in their careers, are making mistakes live on air constantly, are being pushed and told what to do, and are making under $50,000, probably. The backbone.
Under 50,000, under like 20K in the UK.
I'm
Like,
saying
way
90%. Like the top 10. I mean, I was in a top 20 market, which is like the the good markets to be in, and I was making. I started off at 15 an hour, which I'm glad for. I was young, but it's even turning up into the bigger markets now. They're hiring younger people for cheaper. And I just didn't have any life experience at that time. I went to college, that's it. And now I'm writing the news. Why?
It's kind of crazy. I went to an interview once for BBC News, and I actually knew some guy. I can't remember what his name was, but he was like the boss at the BBC News department that I applied to, and he knew me, and he actually got me to work for him once, like for one day as like work experience and stuff. And when I had that job interview with him, and at the end he was like, Camelia, you're not a journalist. And I was like,
thanks.
What does that mean? Like, what do you mean I'm not a journalist? I was literally making journalistic pieces for the BBC, like video journalistic pieces. I was making short documentaries. I even made like a couple of like news things. It's like, I'm not a journalist. Like, but like, what? How?
Yeah.
And that was how they rejected me.
That's annoying. Did they never give you an explanation?
That was the explanation. But don't worry. They give the job to a white guy.
Okay. Well, there you go. It tracks.
Oh, good.
If we want to talk about like local news and looks, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's like modeling in that way where bosses feel very open, at least when I was in the industry, which was not that long ago, less than 10 years ago. We're open to say, no, we want a blonder woman. We want a bigger boobed woman. And like just saying this like out loud, or like, well, our demo, is 50% white, affluent women. So we need to match that with our anchor. And, we need a white man to match that too. Or this county, is the less privileged. We don't have as many boxes in that county. We're never going to cover them. Like, these are decisions that were being talked about fairly openly in these newsrooms, at least the ones that I was in. And I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. Like, they had consultants come in and say, cut your hair, dye your hair, put tighter outfits on, wear these colors, wear this makeup brand. Like, it's very much in the olden days still of like, the women are on the sports so that men will watch. That's the only reason. Like, that's stuff that they think. It's kind of scary, and that because journalists are in the world, they're not covering themselves. And I'm afraid to talk about it because I'm like, well, if I ever want to go back into the industry, if I decide like this is not working and like YouTube dissolves and I'm like, fuck, what do I do? I don't want to have like all this footage of me talking shit, but at the same time, it's like, it is a huge problem, and people do get, discriminated against.
The discrimination is so bad. Oh my God. I don't want to get into it because it's terrible. But yeah, for me, it wasn't even like a job where I would be in front of the camera or anything.
Mm-hmm.
This was, I don't remember because I had loads of interviews that I was like rejected from, but I don't remember which one this was, if it was an actual journalist one, but as in like written journalism, like it was, I would have never been in front of the camera or anything, or if it was a researcher job. And it's more likely that it was a researcher job. So I feel like it was particularly mean because like I even believed it at the time. I was like, oh no, yeah, I'm too creative to be a journalist. That's true. Like
He's right. All men are right.
absolutely. Yeah. Oh,
Interesting. Okay.
but
Well,
yeah. So Meghan and Harry.
apparently Harry is offering life coaching now. I don't know.
Oh, I saw that. He's
Can
been
you
on the
imagine?
board. No, but he's been on the board of that thing for a while. I don't think it's a new thing. Is it new?
I don't know. Someone said like, "Oh, it's new." Like they're like, "Oh, did you hear? He's now promoting this thing." I guess. I guess he's well. Okay, this video, for example. Do you ever watch Dr. Todd Grande?
Oh, sometimes on YouTube, right? The
Yeah, I really
psychologist
like
guy.
him.
Sometimes I do, yeah.
You want to watch this really quick? It's not that. It's 14
Yeah.
minutes. It says Prince Harry and life coaching: dangers of pseudoscientific, semi-active royals who know Oprah Winfrey. It all goes
Wow.
back to Oprah. Always.
When was this posted?
July 15th of this year, so not too long ago.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know. My only connection, and it's not really a connection, but my only history with Prince Harry is I went to the Invictus Games that he runs, where it's like wounded veterans compete in like Olympic type sports, and it's all about like wounded warriors and that sort of thing. And I went to it, and I got to see him during one of the volleyball games. I saw him in the court, like on the side, and I was there. I was like, oh, cool.
Wow.
That was
You always
before
have,
Megan.
like, a little, you were really into this world.
I got lucky because it was in Orlando where the event was, and like so much stuff comes through there that like I would be able to go and like not like be near them or in one-on-one, but like I was able to go and like cover certain things, which was cool.
Nice. Did you have to interview him?
No, I wish. Psh.
That
I
would've been cool.
wish to talk to royal blood. Ugh.
My only experience of Harry is that there is a thing in the UK called the Prince's Trust, and you can get some funding from that, but it's just a loan. It's not,
Pay us back.
It's not for free. You just pay it back with interest, so it's all good.
Oh, cool. So it's a bank. All right. Awesome.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good to know.
But you also have to like give them your personal statement about how passionate and dedicated you are about the thing and
To
why you
royalty.
need $5,000. Like it's
Please. I wasn't born into your family. That's why I need it.
yeah.
The only reason you need to know about Harry. Okay, here it goes.
Hello, this is Dr. Grande.
He's so calm.
Today's question is, can I analyze the case of Prince Harry and his life coach endeavor? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I will put the link to Patreon in the description of this video. First, I'll look at the background
Also,
in
watch
this
my
case,
short film.
then offer my analysis. Henry
It's
Charles
unrelated to
Albert
this.
David was born in London, England on September 15, 1984. He is the younger son of Charles, Prince of Wales, and Diana, Princess of Wales. Henry is better known as Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. His parents divorced in 1996, and his mother died in a vehicle collision in Paris on August 31, 1997. Prince Harry served in the military from 2005 to 2015. In July of 2016, he started a romantic relationship with the actress Meghan Markle, who is 3 years older than him. The couple married in May of 2018. In January of 2020, the couple announced that they were going to step back as senior members of the royal family. They were to become financially independent and no longer represent the Queen. The couple moved to the United States. Since the move, Prince Harry has been involved in a few different business ventures. He signed a deal with Netflix and another deal with Spotify. He made a deal to be paid for public speaking. He produced a series on mental health with Oprah Winfrey. And he became the Chief Impact Officer for a life coaching startup called Better Up. Some people have criticized the life coaching industry, and by extension, Prince Harry's involvement in it. Now moving to my analysis. Prince Harry has had a controversial history as far as being a royal. Breaking away from the royal family set him on an unusual path. There is no prescription available for how he is supposed to behave or what he is supposed to do with his life. He went from a regimented lifestyle to one where he has complete freedom. In addition, Prince Harry is exceptionally wealthy and famous, which provides him a phenomenal number of options. He can do business with just about anyone he wants to. Prince Harry has talked about mental health struggles in the past, including panic, anxiety, and excessive consumption of alcohol. There is the sense that Harry is looking for purpose in his life. He's trying to figure things out. He wants to remain relevant and important to a wide audience, as he was when he was active as a royal. Prince Harry wanted to escape the constraints of being a royal, but did not want to give up the benefits. Essentially, he appears to desire the best parts of being a royal without putting up with the worst parts. Without the structure of the royal family, Prince Harry has been left to his own devices to figure out how to be influential. Unfortunately for Harry, other than being born into royalty, there isn't really anything about him that would normally lead to phenomenal popularity. Everything that made him famous was given to him, but now he must create something on his own. He has to do something to make himself significant. I believe Harry is reasonably well-intentioned. I don't think he's separated from the royal family to hurt anyone. I don't think his quest for importance or success is necessarily negative or unhelpful. Some might say that he has a sense of entitlement, but another argument could be that he views himself as having great power, therefore great responsibility. He's like Spider-Man. His need to remain influential doesn't necessarily come from a selfish desire. Rather, it may be something he views as a burden that he must satisfy. It's a duty to be in the public eye and to try to make the world a better place. Even though he may lack ill intent, Prince Harry sometimes does appear to be idealistic, arrogant, entitled, obtuse, disconnected from the experiences of the real world, and as lacking critical thinking skills. He complains about his life of privilege as if he has a very challenging existence. He believes that he has suffered tremendously and therefore has the wisdom to give advice to other people. He knows what's best for everyone, at least in his own mind. This leads us to his many business ventures, including the one with the life coaching company BetterUp. According to the company's website, their mission is to unlock greater potential, purpose, and passion. They offer custom support that can strengthen mental fitness and unleash potential. They are going to bring the power of transformation to each and every person through life coaching.
So generic.
The company is led by behavioral scientists, talent management strategists, and consumer product experts. I found some of their guiding principles to be intriguing. They advocate for doing less and delivering more. I guess this comes from the same school of thought as running slower and winning more races. They believe in extreme ownership. This is when regular ownership simply isn't enough. And the company has a bias toward action. I suppose this is something like a react before thinking mentality. Why doesn't that surprise me? I mentioned that the company offers life coaching services.
Yes.
What is a life coach? Life coaches are individuals who try to help people in various ways. For example, they might help organize somebody's time, teach them productivity skills,
Traumatize you.
or help them to become motivated. The life coaching industry has been strongly influenced by New Age philosophy.
Yeah.
This is why it is not uncommon to hear life coaches make ambiguous and fanciful statements, like they may talk about harnessing the power of the universe, unlocking potential, matching vibration frequencies, and ascending to a new reality. People are certainly free to believe whatever they want, and many life coaches function without incident, but some of them get into trouble because they stray, either intentionally or unintentionally, into the area of mental health treatment. This is why I consider the life coaching industry to be a bit of a minefield. Life coaching addresses a number of areas that initially seem benign and distant from mental health, like motivation, self-esteem, and searching for purpose in life. But in reality, discussions on these topics can wander into the area of mental health symptoms pretty quickly. The life coaching industry is positioned precipitously on the edge of mental health treatment. Some would argue that it's impossibly close, so much so that encroachment is all but guaranteed unless the life coach is cautious, well-trained, and professional. This brings me to the idea of qualifications. What does it take to become a life coach? Does this industry maintain standards similar to mental health professions?
No.
For instance, are life coaches required to receive years of postgraduate education, supervision, and testing?
No.
For a person to be a life coach, the only requirement is they have to represent themselves as a person who performs life coaching services. There are many ways they can accomplish this. For instance, they could say, I am a life coach. They can have business cards printed with their name followed by the words life coach. They could create a website featuring a picture with a
They have to be
caption, life
alive.
coach. They might get a novelty sign for their driveway that says life coach parking only. Or they might frame a piece of paper saying they have met the requirements to be a life coach, meaning at some point before in their life they said, I'm a life coach. A person could also use various other titles and still qualify as a life coach. For example, human behavioral expert, transformational coach, motivational coach, personal mentor, achievements facilitator, life transformation strategist, and high performance.
I heard one the other day. Now, this is someone who I think is on the right track with like speaking out against life coaching in general, but their title was Project Doula.
Oh my God.
And I was like, well, that's a new one. I feel bad making fun of it because it was like someone, like I said, who is like, you know, I think gets it, understands it, is against the industry in some ways, and it's at least coming around to that. But I was like, oh man, that's a new title.
Is a
Project
doula not like a nurse?
No. Doulas, I think, same thing as life coach. You can just be like, I'm a doula. There is trainings you can get, but they're all from a company companies that aren't, nothing's with the government or anything.
But I thought they're like, they can be, I thought doulas can be just, you know, I don't know what you call them, but nurses who help women give birth.
They're just people who help women give birth. I'm almost positive. I don't think there's any sort of formal training.
Okay.
No. Because I think there's like midwives can go to training and you can be certified in that, I believe. Like midwifery is what they call it, I believe. But I'm almost positive doula is like a term that I could be like, I'm a doula today. Like I've decided. And then what that means to you can be totally millions of different things.
Yeah. Okay. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
No medical stuff.
Like therapist.
Yeah, not like therapist. Therapist comes with a much more. Well,
Oh,
you're truly
maybe
a
in the
therapist.
US. In the UK, no, it's not protected. term.
Really?
No. That's how I
Oh.
got in trouble with Marissa Peer.
Oh.
Because I said she was not a therapist. It turns out she is, because she says she is.
She is.
So,
Oh.
that- like as Dr. Grande says, they can state it, they can put it on a business card. That makes them it.
Yeah. Andrea says doulas are like pregnancy cheerleaders, advocates, no medical cert, and they help in more of a spiritual way. Yeah, that's what I thought. And then there's like a death doula, which that seems interesting and cool too. Like someone who, if you're dying, will help and like be there for you and kind of like be someone that you can hire to assist in that. That's like not your family. And I follow one of those on Instagram and it's kind of interesting, but I think that's going to be the next, maybe that's like, this is like the beginning of a trend. Like, oh, now it's not life coach and motivational facilitator. It's like ambition doula, you know, I don't know.
Okay.
That might be something we see moving forward.
Wow. Yeah. Well, if they do, I mean, I'll cheer them on like any doula would.
Cheer you on. I'm going to search for the betterup.com. Reject.
I love that. They can state it. They can put it on a business card.
They can make a parking
They can
spot.
achieve this in many ways.
I like it.
It's funny. I don't know if he knows he's funny.
I think he does. I think he knows he's dry. This is very reminiscent of Jay Shetty's life coaching certification website. To me.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen it, but like in terms of visually, I don't think I've seen it.
Guess what his is called? Jay Shetty's life coaching school. Actually, no. His life coaching school is called Jay Shetty's life coaching certification school.
Yeah,
you
very
could have guessed
original.
it. But his life coaching course, you know what it's called?
I feel like I don't remember it right now, but yeah.
Genius.
Oh yeah. But there is another thing in Romania. There's a thing called Genius, that is like a membership. In Romania, we don't really have Amazon. Like we have Amazon, Europe, that does deliver to Romania, but we don't have like it's
Not the
nobody
same.
buys anything on it. So there's a thing called eMag here. And Genius is like a membership you can get, like Amazon Prime type thing.
Interesting.
So I do remember seeing this for Jay Shetty and being like, did he steal this from eMag Romania? Probably not. But I was like,
You never know. He's well traveled.
yeah.
We can apply to be coaches right now. How did you hear about
Yeah.
us? Yeah, there's not much.
I mean, I don't need to apply. I can just state that I am, and I can say that the parking spot is for a life coach.
Oh yeah, you can have your own life coaching business. But if you want to be a better up care coach,
Yeah.
you better have a name to submit because that seems like it's all they need.
So what would this be? Just pay this to have a chat with Harry, or what is this?
No, it just there's a you and I could apply to be coaches. We would just be better up coaches, and they probably have some sort of like 10 steps to make anyone better, and then you would teach that to a client in some way,
Right.
either online
Well,
or in
that's
person. Ooh, look at her eyeball.
Transform your people with company coaching.
Get started.
Yeah. Imagine being in a corporation. I think this is so cringe. Imagine being in a corporation and them bringing
Life
this to
coaches?
you, or like Jay Shetty to you.
Ugh.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
hey, can I get a vacation day? Absolutely not. We just don't have the budget. Oh, but we have Jay Shetty. It's like, no, I
We
don't
don't have the
want
budget
that.
for your vacation, but we do have like 12 million to pay like Mel
A
Robbins
scammer. Yeah, to come in for 1
and
hour.
Grant Cardone and like all of these. Yeah.
That's-
Talking about Jay Shetty, should we show just what a good husband he is?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do that.
This is what
Let's do-
Cam sent me
I
this
feel
morning.
like we should.
Yeah.
I feel like we're running late and it's getting to that point of the night where I'm
know.
like, woo!
No!
Yeah, so Jay Shetty, as you guys know, he is better than anyone, except in a few ways. Turns
Yeah.
out
Here's
his wife has come out with a reel to call him out
on his own
crap.
on his own Instagram though.
What was it called? It was called like weaponized incompetence.
Yes. Okay, wait. I want you to see who's commented on this Instagram. This is Genius Jay Shetty. Okay. The two people that have commented, Dr. Eamon, the brain doctor, and the meal prep king.
Amazing, the meal prep king. He took a break from his social media break to come and comment on Jay Shetty's thing.
2 hours ago, he commented, "Great post, Jay, as
Got
normal."
11 likes.
Heart, 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 heart. So
Dr. Amen only 3 likes.
yeah, Eamon just
so
did praise
popular.
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just that gives you a very good idea of what's going on. Oh, speaking of Jay Shetty, he officiated Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck's definitely not fake wedding, and that a lot of people are like, oh, I saw Jay Shetty mentioned in the news. So he officiated their wedding. This is the lady from Emily in Paris.
Yes,
He-
Lily Collins.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He also officiated their wedding as well.
So he's now a priest,
Sure.
minister.
Sure. He's
a life
former
coaching
monk.
minister.
Former monk who does weddings now.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, we need a scruffy cons.
Scruffy cons.
Scruffy con.
Scruffy cons Jay. He hates women, loves Jay Shetty. That matches.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, here's the funny one.
Husband for a day.
Just in case the music's copyrighted. So this is Jay Shetty's wife being Jay Shetty for the day. This is how he acts, apparently. Yeah, she's always said that he's got a big hair obsession.
Like, she's really committing to this cream.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say that she thinks that he's lazy and self-centered based on this video. And the other times I've heard her talk about him. To me, it seems like she doesn't think very highly of him, really. Not that I disagree with her, but it's funny. She says
I would say
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go on.
Oh, he's got a new book.
I don't... Yeah, what?
What? New book, pre-order right now. 8 Rules of Love.
What?
Lewis House says, yes!
Oh my God, I'm buying this.
This is the problem, Cam.
Well, no, I'm buying it to review it.
Well, yeah,
What?
obviously.
He's come up with it? I
Says,
knew that he was going to do it, but I thought he was doing it like at Christmas or something.
Oh, well, it's pre-order, so maybe it'll come out at Christmas. Today's his birthday, so 2 days ago was his birthday, and he's so excited to announce.
Coming out?
When you pre-order today, you'll be the first to get access to my world tour dates when they're announced.
Oh, January. I knew it was like later on. I was like shocked. Okay, so January is, maybe that's just the UK? Kindle, is the Kindle like ready now?
I don't know. I
No.
never know. It always says it is, but then again,
It's not. Definitely not.
he better not divorce his wife anytime soon. This is like the commitment they're making to each other for at least 5 years. You can't come out with a book. Well, I guess that didn't if you take the Rachel Hollis and Dave Hollis rules, they only lasted 6 months after the marriage conference, so it doesn't matter. Allegedly, I don't know the
And
timeline.
then come up with a third book. Be like, didn't see the divorce coming.
Yeah, didn't. I mean, you gotta have balls of steel to be a young person in a relationship and tell me what the rules of love are.
Yeah.
You are guaranteeing that you are like secure in your relationship.
Yeah. It's the thing is, I feel like it takes so little, oh God, what's the word? It takes so little shit. What the fuck? Okay. Like you don't have to know anything to write a self-help book.
Yeah.
Like you can be just the most average idiot and write a self-help book.
Yes.
Like I could write that's how easy it would be.
Yeah.
I could write one right now.
Of course.
I
This
should
guy,
write my self-help book.
you should. This
I'd be
guy got kicked out of being a monk and has made it a multi-million-dollar career. So,
Yeah.
the sky's the limit.
Seriously. Like what is the secret ingredient that we're missing here? Because
Blue eyes.
we're also podcasting and like
We're too negative.
we didn't come up with a sub story and we didn't pretend like we have a lot of money.
It's the ability to be okay with exploiting vulnerable people.
Yes, that
Honestly.
is true.
Okay, here's another theory that I've been toying with in my head and talking about a lot lately, off camera. But in school, and I sort of started talking about it today. But in school and all that, they say like, oh, work hard and you'll accomplish in good manners and let people have their moments and don't take up too much of, I don't know, like work together in groups and be polite and all these things that we were taught like as young people. Do you think in any way that maybe not on purpose, like the purpose is good, but in reality, it just makes it so that the people who defy that in a lot of ways succeed, and everyone else is afraid, like socially, to like I feel like being greedy makes you successful.
Yeah.
Being like ruthless and not caring about people and pushing people down and being able to fire people and pay them a little wage like helps you, at least in business. Not really having to care about like where your information comes from, not really fact checking or giving a shit if it's not accurate or affects anyone, like not having like that care to do well, like except for yourself. Like I think all of those things that we were taught are actually holding me back from succeeding at business. And I'm like, is that on purpose? Was that something?
100%.
You think so?
Yeah. 100%. This is systematic. This has been, this is written somewhere. There's like, there's things like in, not the Constitution or whatever, but in the area of those kinds of documents, there will be like rules of how to, because it comes from education, right? Like who tells these teachers, these professors to teach you that? Like it comes from somewhere. There's like, what is it called?
Curriculum.
It's like curriculum, and it started with like the fact that people. It started with the fact that government needed like essentially machines, and they didn't have machines at the time, so what they had was people.
Human
So
labor.
what you needed to do in order to succeed and have a job, you needed to do like brain dead type of activities, like in factories, like just like everything was on a band and you had to just do the same thing over and over and over again. Slowly over time we have replaced many of these jobs by like actual machineries. But at the end of the day, all of those things really just they exploited people. All they did was like get more and more workers with taxes to pay, and that keep the government like wealthy. And that's don't don't trust anything they told you. Like think critically.
But it's like, because I think of like Sesame Street. Okay, this is how deeply I'm thinking about that. I'm like, okay, Sesame Street, I find it to be a beloved show that teaches kids and adults alike like good values of life. Now I'm like, are they indoctrinating me into being this weak, unable to succeed in life person? And like, have I been lied to? And like,
Absolutely.
It's interesting because you're reading Jordan Peterson's book and he talks about Elmo a lot in that book, like sort of in a weird way. And I that was the part of the book I didn't like. I'm like, he's insulting Elmo. How dare he? And now I'm
I
like,
haven't gotten to that, and I don't even know who Elmo is. But
you know who Elmo is? You do.
No.
What? Sesame Street Elmo?
This is why when I say cultural difference, this is what I'm talking about. Like I don't know anything you guys know.
All right. Someone in the chat.
I grew up with Tom and Jerry.
You've never seen Elmo? Is it ringing a bell?
No, I have seen him, but
Okay.
like as an adult, like I've come across social media, but like not. I didn't grow up with this. I have no idea what this is about.
Oh my gosh. I can't even do the Elmo voice. Hello, hey Elmo. No, that's bad. Hold on, let me get it.
But they're definitely indoctrinating you. They don't need people to question the government. They don't need people to notice when they're doing the wrong things. What they want is people who will put their head down and work.
Yeah.
That's what they want. And that's what they will do. They will indoctrinate people into that.
But now I feel like my whole world is thrown upside down because I'm like, Snuffleupagus told me that I should be polite and then I'll be a good person. And now I'm like, was this all like a scheme that I've like given
And the
into?
thing is, it's somewhat like, I think the insidious thing about it is also that you will be rejected by society, by your very friends, by your very colleagues if you dare to like break the rules. Like
yes,
I noticed this in the UK. The minute the UK is like big on toxic positivity, which I'm sure the US is as well. The minute I go against that, oh my God, my former friends from the UK are so mad at me. Like, they're insanely mad at me because I don't subscribe to that bullshit.
Yeah.
And I've
It is
lost
hard.
lots of them because of that, because I spoke like ill of my ex. Like, how dare I like say things that are true? And basically, I literally have lost friends over the last year because of this. And I'm like, but this is true. It's like, and they don't care. They're like, how dare you, like, paint him? Like, I'm like, I'm not painting it. This is all true. Like, if it's being painted in some way, it's painted by the truth. I'm sorry.
Like the picture's painted. I'm just putting it up on the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not painting
And
anything. Oh, Elmo.
basically, it's a strange thing, because like, if you don't break the rules, and if you don't get ambitious, and if you don't start thinking critically, in the sense that to learn what you actually need to do to get ahead,
Even the idea of getting
then you don't.
ahead is a
Yeah.
problem for me, because it's like you don't want to get ahead. Like, you want everyone in the group to succeed so we all can strive and grow together. And like, if someone on your team, like even in team sports, if someone on your team does well, like, you want to support them, but it's also a team effort. You're not supposed to say like, oh, well, it was all, and I hate it when someone's like, well, it was all me who did this 100%.
Yeah.
It's like, you want everyone on the team to feel like they are a part of it. But like, at the same time, sustainably, like, if everyone on the team is making the same amount, like, you'll never get enough. There's not enough to go around. But then, I don't know, it's just confusing. I'm like, how much of this is like good advice and how much of this is not good advice? Or I just
think
feel like
it's
it's
all
holding me
bad
back.
advice, but I think
Yeah.
it's also social. It's a social currency. So this is why
Yeah.
why it's so difficult, because you've got to toe that line carefully, without like, you have to go and strive for the thing that you want to do and break all the rules if you want to get ahead. At the same time, you have to be really careful not to piss off your friends and your family and your society that you live in, your neighbors, whatever, because like, they are like, you've got to do it in some way that you get the support of the others that will like you know what I mean? Like, does
Yeah.
this make any sense what I'm saying? Like, Jay Shetty would have not been able to do this if he didn't get the support of some people.
But the thing is,
So-
Jay Shetty only cares about himself. Only. 100% primarily
Yeah.
cares about his millions of dollars in the bank. And if he was not getting that by doing what he's doing, he wouldn't do it anymore. That's my belief about him as a person, and about lots of these people. Lewis Howes, Dave Hollis, Rachel Hollis, all of them. I think the same thing. If the money wasn't there, they would not be pursuing what they're pursuing.
Yeah.
The money is there. Therefore, now they're incentivized to keep doing it. However, I think you're right when it says you have to play the game, and that forward appearance of like, I love you, I care about you, even though we all know deep at our core these people don't know what we look like, don't know our names, could give a fuck
Yeah.
about us in reality if we don't have money in our wallets and we're handing it to them. But somehow saying that makes people angry. And that's where I'm like, I'm confused, because I'm like, wait, I'm telling you guys the truth. I'm telling the truth. And everyone's like, yeah, we know, but shh.
yeah. It's that social censoring that's it's very insidious, and it's everywhere, because I don't know. I personally I personally feel like it's very damaging, because it stops you at the bottom. It's like I feel like Jordan Peterson told this story. I can't believe we're like talking positively of Jordan Peterson, but here we are. But he told the story. He told us, I don't know if he told it anymore. Someone told the story of like the lobsters, and if they're like in
That's
the bucket,
Jordan. Yeah, that's
one
Jordan Peterson.
tries to get out. It's him, right? Yeah. If one tries to get out, like, the other lobsters will pull him down, and it's kind of like that. I think with this, we are like that, definitely. So I think that's where that social currency comes in, and it's just so super insidious, and it stops you, because how dare you be ambitious and do better or something, or want to do, like, because I don't even know if any of us succeeded, but like, just the sole fact of wanting is defiant.
Yeah. I'm conflicted, because I feel like it's like cool now to have ambition and cool to like be a girl boss and whatever. But at the same time, it's like the real person that's like benefiting from an MLM girl boss is the owner of the MLM company, which is usually a man. And it's like those people know deep down that their customers are the distributors, right? And that all these women, mostly women in most cases, but sometimes men, are losing money, are being emotionally manipulated. Like, you have to know that. And a lot of times you even watch these coaching calls, like trying to get people to work on their upline groups. And it's like, you know, manipulate people. That's the game we're in, guys. Like, duh, you know? But I don't know. It's almost like, why? It's almost more hurtful to become aware. And I think that's sort of where I'm stuck, where it's like, okay, I'm aware, but I don't want to be a bad person where I'm now, okay, my only option is to exploit people because I figured it out that that's the key to success is exploitation. But how do I live and still like support myself and not be miserable and also be like, have happiness in my life while knowing this information, but not acting on it?
You know, just look at what look at what they show you and nothing else. And, you know, la 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 la. That's it. That's pretty much. I think it takes some closing your eyes to it. But the problem is if you really do that and then things start to fall apart, then you're caught unprepared.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's really, I don't know what's, I find that there's a lot of truth in that saying, ignorance is bliss, you know.
So true. I agree.
but-
And I hate that that's true. I hate that that's the world we live in, that ignorance is the best place to be in. Currently, which is horrible because it's like, you hear the opposite, like knowledge is power and education is the key to success. And it's like, yeah, the more I've educated myself and become more aware and self-aware, the harder it is now to function. I had more friends when I was not this cynical, but I feel more like myself and more confident in myself and my abilities in the world. But I have way less social friends. I have way less people asking me to speak. Like I used to, you know, make content that was all positive. And it was very self-centered, self-focused. Look at me, I'm a selfie. Look at me, I'm here, I'm there. And people were like, come on my podcast and talk about yourself. We'd love to have you. I got way more attention than I do now. And I'm confused by it because I feel more authentic than ever. And I'm like, okay, now I'm arrived. And now everyone's like sort of rejecting me. I'm like, ugh. Not everyone. I have a lot of people online that are like very supportive. But like in real life, in person, it's different. It's not the same reception as when I was like, everything's perfect. Everything's amazing. I have no problems. Like everyone was like, yay, we love you. And now it's like, I'm busy. I don't really want to deal with it.
People don't like to see the bad stuff because it's hurtful. It's easier to close your eyes and like not really look at things. And I feel like people like us are showing. I feel like if they do, this is such a deep conversation. This would be the worst time to tune in. Nobody tune in from now on. Can we stop this? Can we stop the incoming? Like, is there a thing on YouTube where you can just stop the incoming people?
No one
from
enter.
coming. No one enter. Thank you. Yeah. It's a very like difficult. I feel like it's probably part of like also learning what the world is, and I'm assuming like in a decade we'll have a different opinion of it, and we'll probably have known even more, which I don't want to. But I think at this stage, even the girl boss is cool thing is not true. Like at this point, that's why they have to do so much mental gymnastics to appear relatable and to appear that they are like everyone, because like they know that actually the girl boss hustle thing is not cool at all. Like nobody actually likes it, and that's why they have to. But no, I eat mac and cheese all of the time. I promise you guys. But actually I'm gluten intolerant. I have not had mac and cheese in 10 years.
I actually hate Instagram. I actually think all social media is toxic, but I'll be back soon.
Yeah, don't worry. In 2 hours, I'm back.
I'll be back
with,
in less than
a new
24.
short film.
I saw someone was upset that they're like, oh, how are you making fun of him telling his true feelings? It's like, I don't know, because like I can't care for everybody on the planet anymore. Sorry. If I feel a certain way about something, if they're being authentic, great, I'm glad, but I can take it however I want it. So sorry.
And the thing is, I feel like sometimes, and I've noticed this on a few occasions where I don't have like a specific situation in mind, but there would be things that I would catch on to, and then people in the initial phase would be against me. And then, like with the Dad Challenge podcast, I called him out like pretty early on, and I wasn't the only one. There were people calling him out before me, even. But we were all kind of like, well, we just we're trying to, like, we don't understand. We can't put our finger. Like, it was kind of like a little vague. I was trying to make sense of it, of what's happening.
Sure.
And now he's been called out so many times since. It's like, okay, so it's just very validating to be like, okay, so I was not just making this up. This is like, it is a problem. Like,
or other
and
people
I
at
think-
least agree, with it. Like, it's not just you making something up in your own head.
Yeah, and then he's done more things that have done more damage, and like, there's been a lot of that. And I remember when I posted that video with people who were like actual genuine subscribers of mine who were constantly commenting with me, and we had like a history, who left me. They were like, I'm unsubscribing, I can't believe you did this. And I felt very hurt, because they were like people that were, like you guys being in the comments. Like, there were people all the time, and I was not doing lives, I was just in comments. But
yeah,
I was so like, oh my God, did I really get this wrong? Because I just could not, could not believe that I was losing like real, like, people who cared about me. And then over time, I found to, like, I realized that he's done more and more things. Like, I was not wrong. I just picked up on some things that it was like probably hard to pick up, or they were going against his, like, oh, I'm doing this for the children thing.
Yeah.
And I think
I'm here for you.
And I think this speaks to the different levels of awareness of all of us. And we at every stage in our life, we have different levels of awareness. And I think that's where the big disconnect sometimes comes in, because if you've not really, like, you, for example, you have this like experience of having been in the self-help industry, like before, probably when somebody would have spoken ill of Gary Vee, would be like, no, just like,
totally.
yeah. And now you're like at a different level of awareness, and like now you're like, oh shit, like, you know what I mean? There's just, I think that's what it is. And some people have seen it. And my sister like just shared, one of my sisters just shared "Be It Until You Become It" on her Instagram. I was like, did she share this from Natasha Graziano? And she was like, yes. And I'm like, oh my God.
She's probably getting fed the ads because of you. It's like, oh, they have a relationship. We'll just push it on her.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I think that's why it's so this social contract that we have with people, essentially, to not be negative and to blah blah blah. That's why it's so like difficult to break through, because people have different understanding of different things. And it's not to say that they don't understand the world. That's not what I'm trying to say. But like, there's some things that we all have more understanding. Like, we obviously have been criticizing the self-help industry for so long. Like, that's an area where I feel like we know a lot. Like, if people were to criticize, I don't know, NASA, I would have nothing to like add to the conversation. I would be like, what? This is news to me.
Yeah,
Please,
sounds good to me.
You know what I mean? It's just, it's complicated.
It is. It's very complicated. That's the more that I think about all this, it's very complicated. And that's why I like this format, because it's like, I'm not going to solve it today. I'm not going to solve it tomorrow. I'm not going to solve it probably for a long time. I may never solve it, but I think talking about it and feeling like, one person's thoughts about it aren't the end all be all, God's truth. It's like, it could be 20 different shades of something, and it can change over time, and it depends on who you are as a person, and it can all be correct. So I like hearing everyone's perspective, and even people who are like, how dare you laugh at somebody who's being honest? And it's like, yeah, is that a fucked up thing for me? And I'm like, yeah, it is in a way, in that person's perspective, and it's true, but I'm going to do it anyways, and I'm okay with it because it's really, truly how I feel. And then being, okay, now I move on.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, the part where I feel confident is that at least none of us have ever come into a stream with an agenda of like, we're gonna paint this person this way. We're literally just looking at things, and like, oftentimes even like for the first time, like in this case, for example, I didn't know about this guy Brody, and it's like, it's just genuine like instinct. It's more just commentary rather than we have made our mind this is a bad person. Like, that's not what this is.
They'll
It's
never
just,
redeem themselves. Like, who am I to say that? Who are you to say that?
I don't even know who this guy is.
I don't even know. Yeah, we don't even know who he is. I watched 3 videos.
Yeah. So it's kind of, I feel like, yeah. I like this.
Sorry.
I hate it when people have made up their mind fully, but I mean, at the same time, I have done that on lots of things. But even this, like, every time, and okay, I guess the point I'm trying to make is, I find that with this kind of stuff, I have a little tiny tinge of hope that by criticizing, by pointing to the things that are bad and negative, that there might be somebody in the self-help industry that comes and revolutionizes it. At the end of the day, that's what Tony Robbins did. He came into the industry and made it what it is. So what's to stop some other person to come into the industry and make it good and make it like actually ethical? You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's to
There's
stop
a tinge
you,
of
Cam?
hope in it. Me?
Welcome to the stage, Camellia, talking about how to be it till you become it.
No, I am a big fan of fake it till you make it.
Throw that in the trash. It's actually be it till you believe it, and then become it. Don't you dumb it.
Yeah.
Down. I don't know.
So at least I think that's why I do it, because I'm always so shocked. It's never like I'm just relating the facts. Oftentimes I'm just genuinely shocked. I'm like, how fucking dare you talk about anxiety like that? Like,
Yeah.
And I'm hoping some people will hear it and some people will be like, you know what, maybe that's true, and maybe, we should leave anxiety to the mental health professionals and just.
Yes, I agree. And even mental health that's something I've sort of come to since doing this channel, and in the last probably a couple years, probably a year. A lot of people have pushed back on my and I had a pretty straight at one point, therapy is good, period. No matter what, getting into a therapist's office is the best thing you can do for your mental health. And I've sort of backed off of it because not every therapist is the same. A lot of therapists do have issues of their own. They have more boundaries and ethics because they can lose their license, so they have more to lose than a life coach does. But I do think it's important to vet the one that you're going to speak to, and there's different degrees and things with therapists, and I've seen some therapists cross ethical lines that I disagree with. So it's like my one blanket statement has definitely shifted into a more of a gray area, as most things do. But I think I'm learning too, so that's good, and I hope that that comes off. I never want to have such a strict mindset that I can't then go, I said a year ago that therapy is good no matter what. I don't believe that anymore. I think vet your person, and even if you do a year of therapy and it's not working, find someone else. It's still worth pursuing working on your mental health, but I don't think you have to do it with a therapist that may not be the match for you.
Always have a healthy dose of
critique them
of critical
too.
thinking. Yeah,
because I've given a lot of benefit of the doubt to therapists in my life, and I've been taken advantage of, I think, in some ways, or my life coach was a therapist at one point, and so then I gave them all this credit, and I wasn't listening to what she was saying to me in real life in person, because I was like, well, they're a therapist, they're an expert, cool. I don't have to critically think right now. And then in reality, I'm like, oops, you know, or, oh, like just because they're a therapist, like I should prop them up and like give them a platform. It's like, that's not necessarily true either. Like, you know, and so I've learned that lesson this year.
Yeah, this is so funny. Like, one of my friends here in Romania told me that she has a business. She has the language school, and she told me that she had this therapist at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And then I spoke to her again, and like the conversation went back to that. And turns out her therapist was actually like a coach,
Mm-hmm.
and they were not a therapist at all. And this is, I think, what keeps me passionate about this, talking about this stuff, because it's everywhere. My sister is sharing Natasha Graziano quotes. My friend has a therapist that's not a therapist. It's actually a life coach. It's like, it's everywhere. Like, people in my life, they're paying for, I mean, my sister didn't pay for that quote, but you know, she gave Natasha credit. She's like, oh, this is an entrepreneur who made it and has money, so I'll just, you know, like instinctively trusted the stupid quote. And then I was like, oh, let's rethink this one. But then, you know, it's just so prevalent. And like, these two people are here in Romania.
Mm-hmm.
This self-help industry is like, I guess
Everywhere.
in my head, it's like, it's in the States, you know, like it started in the States, and it's like very, very well spread out throughout the States.
Sure.
But these are people who don't even speak English. I mean, they do speak English, like to the point, like they're like, whatever, they understand English. But this is the country that has Romanian as a language.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we sharing Natasha Graziano quotes and having life coaches as business coaches, like, and we call them therapists? I'm like, what is this? This has gone everywhere. Everywhere. Like, it's in my country. Like,
it's a response to the world we're in, you know. The life we're all living is like keeping up with what's going on, and I feel like that's a solution. It's like, I'll teach you how to be this way, and we all need support, but we don't necessarily have the support of our parents, of our friends, of whatever. Everyone's focused on themselves, which is fine, but I think we all also need support. So then we go, okay, let me purchase support, or let me go to these gurus for support, and then we don't realize that it's not actually support. It's a funnel to be then buying shit that we don't need, and it's a whole cycle, you know. But I think, yeah, it's a response to having access to all of everyone's life all the time online, seeing what everyone else is doing and what, you know, what we're not doing, and then having to fill that void that is put there because, like, we're not doing what other people are doing. Even if it's worse or better or the same, it's like, it still feels like, you know, well, I'm doing this, so what if I was doing that? How do I do that? And then I don't know, then the life coaching comes in and like, I have the answers for all of these concerns, which they don't, but you know.
Yeah, exactly. And I also just came across a few TikToks recently. This is more in regards to therapy, but 2 TikToks that I saw these days from 2 different people who were both talking about the same thing. Essentially, they were turned down by many, many therapists. They were looking for a therapist, and they were turned down because they were too self-aware. And essentially, what the message that they both got was, you just know what you need to do, you're not doing it. It's a behavior thing. You're refusing the behavior. So they were both ranting about that, and I was like, wow, I can't believe that you can just get turned down by a therapist.
I'm surprised
like
by
the
that.
ultimate punch to the gut. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
I feel like I don't believe that.
Really?
I don't know. Maybe I'm not self-aware enough, so the therapist is like, oh God, she needs help. But I just feel like a lot of people think they're self-aware and they're not. So I don't think a therapist would diagnose you as self-aware in reality. I don't know, because there's a reason why you're not like working on yourself, and that is therapeutically like working, like possible to work through. Like, why do you? Because I feel like I'm self-aware, but I also don't like act on it. But my therapist is like, let's work on that as an issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not like,
Yeah,
you are
yeah.
not helped. You cannot be helped. Like, that's what therapy is. Because we all know we have certain issues, but it doesn't make it easier to deal with. So I don't know if I buy that.
Yeah, I mean, I buy it because like the conversation was very much like there's like multiple types of therapies. Like there's like talk therapy, CBT, somatic, whatever. So she had one of the girls who had gone to
Be careful
try
with
to go on-
somatic, though, because that's not the same schooling, I don't think.
I don't know what that is at all.
The somatic one, I think, is like breathing through certain things, and it's like you can get a course in it, but I don't believe it's like a full degree.
Oh God, okay. Yeah, that's what she had picked.
Okay.
So, but you know, I mean,
Sounds right.
fair enough. Because I remember when I was depressed and I phoned my GP and he put me in CBT first, and I was like, "What is this dumb thing?" Like, I know that feelings just start like I know that feelings start your thoughts your like I'm like, what is this? Like, this is so dumb. And he was like, I need you to go through 30 days of this. I'm like, I'm not doing that, dude.
You didn't?
Sorry. No.
Cam.
No, that was like, no, come on. Like, that was like self-help surface level. Like, I'm like, don't worry, I've had years of experience in the self-help chat. Like, I'm good with CBT.
That's all I do. I go 2 hours a week CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. You just talk about your shit.
No, that's talk therapy. That's like the CBT thing is like a course. It was like an online. He gave me a link.
What? Okay, no, I thought it was cognitive behavioral therapy, which is like talk therapy.
But he gave me a link.
Oh
to
God.
Do.
Okay.
And the link was like, did you know your feelings create your thoughts and your thought creates your actions? I'm like, yes,
that's
Rachel
something
Hollis
else.
told me that.
Rachel Hollis told me, so I'm good.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't need that.
Hope is not a strategy. I know.
Or maybe I have it wrong. Maybe it's not called CBT. It's definitely something because like my friend is a counselor, so when I told her about that, she was like, "Oh, what did you think of the?" Because like it's a blue, whatever. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but she was like, what did you think of that? And I was like, I couldn't do it. That was like super. And she was like, yeah, it's very, very basic, surface level. I'm like, why did he tell me to do this? This is useless.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that either. Okay, I'm on board again. It's very, yeah.
What is it called though? Maybe what's this DBT stand for? Let me just look. Maybe that's DBT.
I don't know. I don't know enough. I thought I did, and then there's always a new one.
No, it's not dialectical. I don't remember what it was called, but it was a course that he sent me a link to. So he was like, "We'll solve your mental health.
Here's
in
an
no
online
time."
course. I have an affiliate link, probably. God. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. That sounds weird. No, talking about your feelings, I think, is the key for me personally. You know, it's the only thing that really helps, and it takes a long time, and it sucks, but it's good, and you know, it does help you like unpack stuff that like has not been dealt with, for me at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I want to go to therapy.
Do it,
but
do it.
Not yet.
Ignorance is bliss, also. So you know,
ignorance is bliss for another month.
Stay blissful.
Hopefully.
Ignorance is bliss. Stay blissful, everybody.
Yeah.
Take
Like
a break.
and subscribe.
I'll be back.
I'm back.
Man.
So good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's end on that note. Elmo is canceled. That's the end.
Hashtag
conclusion.
cancel Elmo.
I'm gonna make an Instagram post. Like, so today on the show we talked about canceling Elmo. As you all know, he's been in the headlines lately. Cam didn't know it because she doesn't know who it is, but
that is hilarious. I'm
love
sorry,
Elmo.
guys. I will do some catching up on Elmo to find out what he told you.
if you want to hear something you'll probably enjoy, there's like an Elmo documentary, but the guy that voiced Elmo for years was accused. I don't know whatever happened to it, but he was accused of like being a child predator. So that's a good angle to start with.
Oh, of course he was. Like, they are like attracted to these jobs. Like,
I guess.
Like bees.
He denied it
to a
though. He
flower.
did deny it, but I don't know. There was allegations. I don't know whatever happened to it, so I'll say that because I'm looking at it. It's like he denied it, but you know.
That's great.
There is a documentary about him, and then it came out. There was some sort of like, oh well, he's weird or whatever, and I don't know. But yeah,
Okay.
Elmo.
Elmo.
Big fan. I love Elmo.
At least he wasn't the writer or something, right? Like,
no, he was just the voice.
okay.
I don't know if he was the puppeteer. I think he was the puppeteer too. Like he was actually like doing the hand stuff too.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
All right.
I'll do that
On that
for
note,
next time. It's my homework.
Therapy, Elmo documentary. Not in that order. Do the documentary first.
Yeah.
Then you'll have something to talk
All
about in
right.
therapy.
Well,
All
thank
right,
you guys so
everybody.
much for being here. This has been a blast as usual.
Yes, thank you.
And we're definitely sticking. I love that we're sticking to that 1 hour and a half. You know,
Hard
very
stop time.
hard deadline. It's always we're so good at it.
Yeah. We almost
But,
did.
yeah.
And then the Queen stuff, and then we went off on a tangent. But that's
Oh.
okay. That happens.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess we can, we can get a gold star that we almost did it, but it's okay because now we have loads of highlights. So
We do cut the
amazing.
highlights out for everyone, so you don't have to
Yeah.
watch us for 3 hours. Only if you're
No,
cool.
you don't. Yeah,
Mm.
only if you enjoy live,
Mhm.
as in the format, which has been fun lately.
Yes.
Lately, as if it's not always been fun.
It's been fun.
It's always been fun.
This time.
This time for 15 minutes.
It's fun before we start talking. The countdown's the
Oh
fun
my
part.
god! Almost forgot about the films. Okay,
That'll be fun. We'll cut that one.
no.
Like Kia.
If this gets
and-
privated, like don't be
It'll
surprised.
just be a big blank space. Like you cut it out.
Yeah, like a big 2 hours.
15 minutes are missing, or just your scenes are missing. We're
Yeah,
following the
yeah.
masks. He's looking at the mask. All of a sudden, there's a sandwich, nothing, and then he's in the woods.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's Cam? Cut out. All right, everybody.
Okay. Well, thank you for
Love
being
and
here.
light.
Love and light.
Before I leave.
Oh, I love that sound.
Bye.
Bye.